1990 City Swim Meet Finals. This special event featuring over 200 swimmers and their coaches from the 6 competing Owensboro teams is presented by Home Pool, 54 Pizza Express, Bowen Tire, Kid Stop, Our Tennis House, Snyder Awning, and Splash Swim Club. Now let's go poolside with WVJS Sports Director Jerry Burge and Joe Lowe.
2, 1. Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry Burge along with Joe Lowe and Matt Roots. We're speaking to you from the Darnek Swim Club in Owensboro, where this afternoon it's the finals of the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet. And Joe Lowe, this is what it's all about to these youngsters who have worked so hard all season long, and it comes down to the competition here this afternoon.
Yeah, Jerry, you know, we have some kids that swim all year long using the facilities at the Family Y, and then some that just swim in the summertime, some that are competitive in high school and this sort of thing. So really what you have is the best of the best here today. They come from 6 different clubs, and it looks like it's going to be a great swim meet.
Matt Roots will be our swim expert on hand for the entire telecast today. And Matt, looking at the field of this year's meet, what's it shaping up as far as the teams are concerned?
Well, Jerry, I tell you, I think it's really going to be close. I was reading in the paper that Darnek had 99 qualifiers, and I believe that the next person with Splash was with 83. So that's really close with the competition. So I really think that it's going to be a really close meet, one of the closest ones in recent history.
What about the individual competition? Any individuals we can watch for some possible records this afternoon?
Sure. I think that Jamie Mueller's going to set a couple records. I think that she's going to be very, very strong. She's swimming up in the open division. She's a 14-year-old, but she's swimming up in the open division for point reasons for Splash. It's going to be a tight race for 7-8 girls also, I believe, and Ryan Masenic and the 9-10 boys should pretty much walk away with it.
Joe, you've been through a lot of these swim meets and our telecast on Channel 2, and I'm sure the youngsters look forward to these meets too.
Oh, the first thing they ask me is, are you going to televise it? And second, when's it going to be on? Interestingly enough, some of the kids that are coaching now are kids that were swimming when I first started doing these swim meets, Jerry. So it's going to be interesting to see if they have some of their old coaches' ways when they coach these young kids.
A big crowd on hand to watch the finals of the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet, and we'll be back with the action after this timeout.
Anymore. Now, just in time for back to school, Kid Stop in Town Square North has just completed their expansion and remodeling and are announcing their newest addition with the grand opening of their new shoe department. Come in and choose from a full line of high-quality shoes from BabyBot and Stride Right. All shoes come in many widths and sizes to provide the comfort and natural fit growing feet need. It's the look kids want and the quality moms know and love. Kid Stop in Town Square North.
In just 6 days, your backyard could look like this. Home Pool doesn't just put in the pool. They make it look right in your yard with complete landscaping consultation. They're not a part-time company. Home Pools work year-round on decks, patios, and, of course, pools. And with 19 years of experience, you'll be quite satisfied with the job done for years after the 1-year guarantee. Estimates are free. It's the first step toward fulfilling your backyard dreams and filling your own pool with water. Call or visit Jim Pfister, the pool man, at Home Pool, 1200 Burlew Boulevard.
Darnek Pool, we're ready to go with the first of 85 events in the 1990 City Swim Meet. The first event, the girls' tots, 25-year-old freestyle. 6 qualifiers: Sarah Zerner from Atlantis, Jacqueline Berry of Darnek, Tracy Keller a splash, Mary Jones a splash, Amber Smith a splash, Kara Hurt of Darnek. That's the field of 6. Matt Roots?
Looks like a pretty strong field for Splash. It looks like that Mary Jones and Tracy Keller are pretty close for the fastest time. This ought to be a good race. All of them are within, 2 seconds of each other, so it ought to be a pretty fast race for these kids.
You know, Jerry, we were talking just earlier, right before we went on, watch Jacqueline Berry from Darnek, not because I'm a Darnek member, but because she's undefeated so far this year, what they've been telling me. And it looks like we're about ready to start with the girls. This again, Jerry, is the girls' toss, 25 free.
Tracy Keller of Splash with a quick time in the preliminaries, 20.255, right behind Jacqueline Berry at 21.240, and Mary Jones of Splash at 21.011.
A lot of parents here for this one. You know, there's a lot of pressure on these kids. One length of the pool and a 25 to these young people who have been sitting here now in a delay for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. They're pretty hepped up. They're pretty pumped up. Parents are screaming at them. They're not really used to this kind of coverage at a meet. So anything can happen when you talk about the young ones.
The girls' tots, 25-yard freestyle, and The judges and timers are ready, and we're set to go. And we might add that because of a malfunction in the automatic timing device, they are using manual stopwatches, so we're assuming that records at times will not be official records here today. Would that be correct to assume, Matt?
Well, I'm really not sure, but what they're doing with the machine is they're starting it manually from the strobe light on the starting stand. So with the beep, the timers will start it, and the woman doing the machine will start it manually. So I'm not sure if the records are going to stand or not today, Jerry. We'll have to check into that in a little bit.
We might explain that one of the delays in the start of the meet today was a malfunction in the timing device that is being used here today. So hopefully that's all been corrected, and we'll be able to use the automatic timer. If not, we do have backup with the timers manually handling things at the finish line. It is the girls' tots 25-yard freestyle. Zerner, Berry, Keller, Jones, Smith, and Hurt, the 6 qualifiers. The preliminaries were held yesterday. That would be Monday at Darnek Pool. And the competition is set to begin for the prelims, and hopefully we'll have all 86 of the events for you here in our special telecast on Cable 2.
Let's see, we have Atlantis, Splash.
Some kind of difficulty with something in the air.
Okay, now they're explaining to the crowd that because of the problems they're experiencing, evidently there's some foreign electrical pulse coming from somewhere that kicks the timer on and off when it shouldn't be going on and off. So now they're looking for some extra watches. They need some more time stopwatches.
I understand it's HI, Jerry. Who's your interference?
Who's your interference?
Who's your interference is what's going on. The old HI factor. And again, they're getting, if I don't know if we can get a camera shot of this or not. You're seeing right now all the young people standing there waiting, but if you look at the other end of the pool, and I don't know whether they can get a camera shot of the other side of the pool or not, you've got tons of volunteers. All the parents are down there, and the volunteer timers that have come in, they've had to call in 3 of them for each lane, as Coach Powell was just telling. And there's a shot of them all as they come down. They all have to get instruction as to what to do.
And they were short a few watches. Of course, they have 6 lanes here, and evidently they didn't have enough watches, so they just made a call for some additional watches. Hope for good ones.
I tell you what, the Timex dude, if he could be out here, he can make a fortune on this thing.
Matt, this has to build the pressure a little bit for these youngsters who've been waiting now almost 50 minutes to get in the water for the first time.
Oh yeah, they were set at 4 o'clock for the meet to begin. So we've had about a 55-minute holdup. So I'm sure these kids have lost a little bit, but I see some coaches down there getting them pumped up. So it should be a pretty good race.
The girls' tots 25-yard freestyle. Hopefully it'll be getting underway in a moment, which will be the first event of 86 events. 86 events in the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet. We're all set to go. The crowd comes to life. The competitors and little gals ready to go. Sarah Zerner, Jacqueline Berry, Tracy Keller, Mary Jones, Amber Smith, and Kara Hurt. They're on the blocks, and we're set to go. 25-yard freestyle.
Here they go.
And they're in the water. Matt, through the course of the day, we'll let you spot the individuals and who's out in front.
Okay, it looks like we've got Mary Jones from Splash and Tracy Keller from Splash and Jacqueline Berry coming up in third.
It's close.
Looking like a real close race for 1 and 2 right now.
Boom.
And I believe lane 4 got that. I think it was Mary Jones from Splash.
Mary Jones of Splash, who was actually the second quickest in the preliminaries. And that was a tight finish among all 3. And what problems will it create, Matt, as far as if the automatic timers aren't operating? It's a judgment call as to who's in there at the end?
Exactly. Like Coach Powell said earlier, they have 3 judges for each place, so there's an awesome responsibility on the timers because they've got to hit that button as soon as those kids touch the pad, which is sometimes you might get a little trigger happy. So you know it could be a little responsibility for the timers to pay attention to what's going on, which might factor later on in the meet with the heat.
Again, you're talking about this heat, Matt. We're looking over here now. They're getting the young guys all set. The young folks are ready to go. Again, I love doing the tots because these are young guys and gals. And the coaches are actually leaning over, wetting these guys down because they've been standing there for 50 minutes and they're dried out. Their warm-ups are over, and they're just looking to cool off just a little bit. In our This is the boys' tots, 25 free. And Jerry, as I look down, who do we have there in lane number 1?
Lane 1 is Andrew Still from Atlantis, Spencer Cooper from Atlantis, Logan Johnson of Paddock, Chris Blandford of Atlantis, Zach Sparks of Atlantis, and Tony Price of Splash. The quick time in the prelims, 23.707. Logan Johnson of Paddock. You can watch him in lane 3. They're in the water.
Okay, again, you want to look at your middle lanes. Those are the guys who are top seeded in the fastest times in the prelims.
Well, looking at the heat sheet, it looks like Logan Johnson had the fastest time by about 2 seconds, so he should be pretty much the favorite to win.
And he's out in front by a comfortable margin, but he's being challenged by Chris Blandford. And it appears that Logan Johnson indeed did get to the finish just a fraction ahead of Chris Blandford. We might explain to our viewers that we will be running a few meets behind to get the official results, and it might be a little longer with the situation that they're working under now. So as soon as the official results are available, we'll have them for you. But as you've seen in these first 2 events, we'll move very quickly from the first to the second to the third. We've completed 2 events of the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet, and we move on to the girls' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard freestyle. The 6 qualifiers: Christine Coy of Paddock, Natalie Lindau of Darnek, Mia Masenik of Darnek, Kelly Kern of Darnek, Lori Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club, and Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club.
Okay, it looks now like the young ladies are getting ready to go. Now, with the 7/8, Matt, they have a little more under their belt for most of them as far as experience is concerned. But really and truly, it's not till they start doing those 50-yard frees that they really can show what they do. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's pretty much true. It's like a lot of the kids, you can see the times are really close on the heat sheet, and anything can go. It just depends on whose day it is for a specific kid. That's what it comes down to. But I think that got a lot of good kids swimming here.
Let's see what's going to happen as we get a start here on this girls 7/8 25 free. And Matt, with the call, it looks like lane number 4 has a little bit of a lead right now. That would be
Kelly Kern.
Kelly Kern.
Little surprise here.
She's got some competition coming in there from Lori Ledlazak from the Country Club and her sister.
You know,
Ledlazak twins won 1-2.
May have been the outside lane.
It looked like Beth Ludwizak won, Lori Ludwizak second, and Kelly Kern third. Of course, that's unofficial.
Right.
But that's the way it looked from us, and we have a pretty good perch up here.
They've got, those Ludwizak twins are always tough. You always got to be leery of them. Always got to be leery of the Ludwizak twins. They're always swimming very fast.
Event number 4 is a boys 7- to 8-year-old 25-yard freestyle. The 6 qualifiers: Brandon Black of Paddock, Matt Abel of Darnek, Kyle Roby of Darnek, Chris Harney of Atlantis, Jordan Maddox of Darnek, and Blake Lamar of Atlantis. The quick qualifier at 18.471, Kyle Roby of Darnek. The field of 6 going in the boys 7- 8-year-old 25-yard freestyle.
I've got a couple of buddies in this one, though. Matt Abel and Jordan Maddox, both of Darnek. They come out and swim with me every once in a while when I'm out here, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut on this, Matt. I don't want to be prejudiced.
Okay.
Based on the times in the preliminary, we could have a tight finish on this one, too.
Like lane 2 got a little of a head start there, and that would be Eric Sears. Oh, excuse me, that's Matt Abel of Darnek.
Lane 3 out in front. That's Kyle Roby.
There we go.
It looks like Kyle Roby's going to finish in there.
Boom.
Kyle
boom,
Roby
boom.
first from Darnek, and Chris Harney from Atlanta second, looked like. In the prelims, their times were only 4/100ths of a second apart, so that's really close. It's a blink of an eye.
It looked like that other 18-second prelim of Matt Abel came in third there, unless there was something I didn't see. So
Right.
Really pretty much the way it went in the prelims yesterday is the way it came out here in our race today. Now we're getting to the older kids. These are the 9-10 girls, Jerry. They're not going to swim one lap. They're going to swim down and back. This is a 50, and this is where it gets tricky because, Matt, here we start involving a turn.
Right. You train the kids a little bit different in 9, 10s, and 11, 12s because they are swimming longer distances. I know these girls were 7/8s last year, or some of them were at least, and they're ready to go. They train a little bit different, but a lot of these kids swim in winter swimming, which helps out tremendously when you come in for the summer leagues. You just practice all winter long, and in the summer you only practice for 8 weeks.
Competing in lanes 1 through 6, Lindsay Abel of Darnek, Rocky Hatton of Splash, Courtney Sears of Darnek, Carrie Beth Elliott of Darnek, Tammy Price of Splash, Sarah Potts of Atlantis. Quick time 32.922, or make that 32.474. Courtney Sears of Darnek. Watch her in lane 3.
And, of course, when you talk about Sears, you also tie in there with some people who hold a lot of championship records here in Owensboro, and that's the Jago family.
And speaking of records, a record for this event, by the way, Jamie Mueller, who will be competing later. She's grown up a little bit since she set that record as a 9-year-old. Jamie Mueller, 29.050 is the record for this event. Girls 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard freestyle, they're in the water.
An interesting fact, you know, we here at Cable 2 actually did broadcast the city swim meet the year that Jamie Mueller set that record.
That was in 1987. Here's the turn.
The turn could be the most crucial part of a 50-yard freestyle. I think that the turn is the most important part. If you don't hit your turn right, anything can happen.
Hatton of Splash and Sears of Darnek out in front, and that's Sears going to come home the winner.
Carabeth Elliott getting a little bit of competition for third.
Looked like Courtney Sears from Darnek won that, and Rocky Hatton from Splash was second, I do believe, but we'll have to wait for official results.
And I couldn't tell whether Carabeth Elliott or Tammy Price got that third position. They just looked too close for me to call.
Event number 6 is the boys 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard freestyle. The 6 qualifiers in the prelims yesterday. In lane 1, Bill Hess of the Owensboro Country Club. Lane 2, Eric Sears of Darnek. Lane 3 is Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Joseph Boswell of Darnek. Lane 5, John Hess of the Country Club. And lane 6, Kevin Kern of Darnek, and they're in the water.
And right there in lane number 4, Joseph Boswell, one of my old T-ball players, Jerry. I guess a man of all sports.
I hope you didn't mess him up too much.
Matt, what do we look like who's going to this turn here?
Well, it looks like Adam Augustine has got a pretty good lead here in this 50, but he's got a good shot, good competition from Eric Sears, who isn't too far behind, and Joseph Boswell from Darnek, who's third. I believe that Adam swims in the winter, so he may be in a little bit better shape than the other kids.
Impressive win by Adam Augustine in the boys 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard freestyle. He was by far the quickest qualifier in the prelims. 30.768, almost 2 seconds quicker than anyone, and it looks like he finished about 2 seconds in front of everybody.
Yeah, he's a strong 50 freestyler, as you can see with that finish from that race.
Event number 7 is the girls 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard freestyle. Tanya Ledan holds the record at 26.140. The 6 qualifiers are Tiffany Strong of Paddock, Jane Hess of the Owensboro Country Club, Brooke Berry of Town and Country, Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis, Carly Cundiff of Atlantis, and Carrie Law of Town and Country. This is the girls 11 and 12-year-old 50 freestyle.
And it looks like that Brooke Berry's the favorite in this with a 29.75 in prelim. She is just a strong girl. She's just a big built girl, and she is just really strong. And they just made their turn look good.
Out in front in lane 3 is Brooke Berry.
And you might want to notice that the record on this was set by Tanya Ledan when up again, Town and Country.
And look at this. This is going to be a good finish. It looked like Brooke Berry got it, followed by Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. That was pretty close.
Andrea Ambrose coming on very, very strong at the end. Very strong.
Matt, it looks to me that when these kids actually hit the finish line, they're almost trained to do that. And the one who's trained the best as to hitting that finish line is the one that actually can win a race.
Exactly. The way I coach is I get the kids from 5 yards in to keep their head down and just go into the wall as hard as I possibly can.
Event number 8 is the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard freestyle. The 6 qualifiers: Eric Foster of Splash, Trent Thomas of Paddock, Clay Purdom of Town and Country, Ryan Masenic of Darnek, Sterrett Mercer of Darnek, and Mark Moore of Town and Country.
And they're in the water.
They're off. Clay Purdom in lane 3 is a really strong 50 freestyler. I've seen him swim for many years, but Ryan Masenic has come on. He's a strong swimmer also, so I think it's really close. The turn is going to be crucial here for both of these kids to see who wins, I believe.
They were side by side at the turn.
Both the Masenic boys train quite hard all year long. Let's see what's going to happen. Look at this. Right. He comes up on that lane number 4.
He got a good turn, but here comes Ryan coming in, finishing strong.
Look at that.
And it appears that Ryan Masenic came from behind to defeat Clay Purdom, and it looked like Purdom had the advantage on the turn. He shot out in front, and Ryan came from behind, evidently, to win it.
Exactly. Ryan's a strong 50 freestyle swimmer. Last summer when I trained him, he was just an animal when he came to 50 free. He loved that event.
Event number 9 is the girls 13 and 14-year-old 50-yard freestyle. Lee Bowen of Owensboro Country Club, Heather Cabot of Town and Country, Jennifer Hargan of Splash, Leanne Presser of Town and Country, Tanya Miller of Darnek, and Carrie Fulton of Atlantis. They're going 50 yards, girls 13 to 14-year-old.
I was talking to I was talking to Jamie and Jennifer and Leanne this afternoon before the meet started, and they've got a friendly rivalry. Leanne swims for Town and Country, and Jennifer swims for Splash. But they were ready to go at it today, but they were just the best of friends.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here, as Leanne definitely has a lead, right, or Jennifer, rather, has a lead. Leanne's coming from behind. Look at this now. Anything can happen. We have about 10 yards to go.
Yeah, Tanya Miller's coming in there in lane 2. It's going to be a close one. I think that Jennifer Hargan got that just by a little bit.
It appeared Jennifer Hargan, the winner of the girls' 13 to 14-year-old 50-yard freestyle. Event number 10, as we move along quickly, is the boys' 13 to 14-year-old 50-yard freestyle. Robbie Lyons of Town and Country will be in lane 1. In lane 2 is Ryan Goltry of Town and Country. Chad Masenik of Darnek in lane 3. Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis in lane 4. In lane 5 is Kevin Hatton of Splash. In lane 6, Greg Price of Splash.
All within 1 second of one another, Jerry. Actually, all within a half second of one another. And here we go as they're just about ready to hit the water. Let's catch it.
And it looked like in lane 2, Ryan Goltry. Excellent start.
Got a great start. Let's see what happens after this turn.
You know, when you're talking about a half second here between these guys, this is unbelievable.
3
Swimming is so
abreast.
crucial to time.
4
Time is so
abreast.
crucial.
Side by side, head to head, arm to arm. What's going to happen? Boom.
I'm not going to call that one. How about it, Matt?
I think Chad Masenik got it in first place, and in lane 4, I believe that Jeremiah Johnson from, Jeremiah Johnson from Atlantis.
Okay, we want to mention that all of the comments that we make here at the finish are strictly our view from the sidelines. The official results we'll have a bit later. Event 11 is the girls' high school 50-yard freestyle. Lane 1's Melissa Wink. Lane 2, Lisa Kelly. Lane 3 is Jamie Mueller. Lane 4, Dee Dee Embry. Lane 5, Diane Snyder. And lane 6, Kate Hess.
There we go.
Jamie Mueller with a quick time at 27.389 in the prelims, and she's out in front early.
There again, you have a little more separation on these girls now as far as time. Jamie is right up there with the guys. Indeed, her time's a little faster.
What a smooth
than
turn
all the
Jamie
guys.
made there.
Jamie is so strong. She just qualified in Junior Nationals. She had a time trial at the last meet. I think she's going to Junior Nationals in 100 free. She's just an excellent freestyle swimmer.
Boom, she comes in. Count about 3 seconds in the rest of the field.
Jamie Mueller, the apparent winner of the girls' high school 50-yard freestyle. Event 12's the boys' high school 50-yard freestyle. It's Jason Pickerel of Atlantis, Bobby Goebel of Tell City, Andrew Chung of Splash, Brad Schmid of Town and Country, Bart Hubbs of Darnek, and Chad Staton of Splash.
Let's go ahead and tell everybody that's Town and Country, not Tell City.
Did I say Tell City?
You said
Did
Tell
I say Tell City? Boy, oh boy.
Hey, this happens when you're right on the border, Dave. Here we go. We're ready for them. There go the guys.
Good start in lane 2.
Oh, we had a brand new time. I told you that was a fast time for Jamie. What do we have? Well, let's go ahead and watch this. Then we have, I think we may have a new record. I'm not sure.
In lane 3, Andrew Chung of Splash out in front.
Andrew's finishing very strong in this race.
Strong
1,
finish.
2, 3.
Followed by Brad Schmid.
How about 3, 4, 2, the way they qualified?
Andrew Chung of Splash, the apparent winner, boys high school 50-yard freestyle. And now we're going to go back to the little guys. And we're talking of about event number 13 is the girls' 7- and 8-year-old medley relay. And we'll be setting the relay up. And we'll be back with more action from the 1990 Owensboro City swim meet from Darnek Pool after this timeout.
The Splash Swim Club, Owensboro's exciting new swim club, is now open off Highway 54 on Ralph Avenue. The pool at the Splash Swim Club is AAU regulation size, and there are lap lanes for lap swimming. Splash Swim Club offers you a 13-foot diving well for competition practice or for fun. They also have an intermediate pool so you can polish your swimming techniques. Certified lifeguards also teach swimming there. Your youngsters and toddlers will enjoy playing in the Mickey Mouse wading pool. Plus, the entire family can enjoy the game room, concession stand, and clubhouse. There's a limited number of family memberships still available, but hurry, they're going fast.
54 Pizza Express Pizza. How do I love the let me count the ways?
I love thee in all 8, 12, 16, and 20-inch sizes.
I love thee with onion, green pepper, pepperoni, ham, mushrooms, black olive sausage, and extra cheese.
I love your homemade crust, thick, thin, and original.
I love eating my 54 Pizza Express pizza there.
I love phoning in my order and having my pizza delivered.
I even love phoning in and picking up my order.
And I love your sandwiches, too.
54 Pizza Express, home of the luscious top-heavy pizza and fantastic sandwiches. Their food is pure poetry.
For super savings and rebates, visit Ward's Trend House. Ward's Trend House is having a factory-authorized lane recliner rebate sale. The rebates are spectacular. Get $60 back on these select lane recliners with first-time factory-authorized rebates. Or get a $50 rebate on the Lane Renegade. Whichever lane recliner you choose, you are sure to get a super deal with a super rebate. This rebate sale is now through Saturday only at Ward's Trend House, 405 East 14th Street, Owensboro.
Mueller.
Okay, we're back here at the City Swim Meet for 1990, and in that race you saw earlier, Jamie Mueller in the girls high school 50-yard free. A city record, Matt, was set at 25.35.
Very fast swim for Jamie, and that record's been standing since 1978, so I'm sure that means a lot to Jamie with that record. Karen Jago.
What a time. She did better than the boys did on that one.
Yeah, she did. She's just an excellent swimmer.
Okay, we're starting in the medley relay now, Jerry, and this is, of course, when you have 4 members of the team. And what teams do we have up right now?
It'll be Owensboro Country Club in lane 1, Atlantis in lane 2, Darnek in 3, Splash in 4, Town and Country in 5, Paddock in 6. And we do not have the names of the individual competitors on the relay team. Darnek had the quick time by 4 in the prelims with a 129.55. The closest contender, Splash, at 135.14.
And there they go. They start with the back. And if you look, you'll see Darnek, which is the strongest so far, is not necessarily in the lead in the back.
In fact, on the outside lanes, Owensboro Country Club and Paddock grabbing the early lead with the backstroke.
And on the other side, it's Paddock really doing well, coming in second, third place. Well, I'm not too sure.
Let me point out that on relays, you don't qualify for relays. You just submit a time for relays. So none of this was happening in qualifications yesterday.
All right.
They just do it today. You submit a time, and then they just seed it from there. It looks like Darnek is pulling up ahead.
So there could be a psychological thing here as to whether you're faster or not. You submit a fast time or a slow time and try to psych out the other team.
Right.
Okay, there we go with the fly. So we're done the back, we've done the breast, we're into the fly, and Darnek, this is where Darnek's really shining, Matt.
Right. They caught up a lot on that breaststroke, and I believe that Courtney Lindo was swimming in that leg. She did a super job. But the coaches also realized that relays are double in points, so they're very, very vital to a championship. And with today's score, it's going to be really close. Relays are going to be a vital part. And it looks like Darnek is pulling ahead really well.
Darnek Country Club and Splash, that's the way I see it. That's lane 3, lane 2, lane 4. But look here, we have a fight between lanes 1 and 4.
And I believe Splash got that for second place.
The Darnek medley relay team, the apparent winner here in the girls 7 to 8-year-old medley relay, and we'll move up to the boys 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. It'll be Splash in lane 1, Town and Country in lane 2, Darnek in lane 3, Paddock in lane 4, Owensboro Country Club in 5, Atlantis in lane 6. The quickest time reported, 137.82 for Darnek.
Okay, Matt, you said something about double points. Tell me about the points in this situation. In the relays, a team that gets first, how many points?
I believe that it's 14 points, and the second place gets 12. So there's a 2-point difference or a 4-point difference where, as in an individual event, I think it's 7-5, and in relays it's 14-10. So in relays, if you win, you get a 4-point advantage, where just in individuals you just get 2. So it's really vital when you're trying to win a championship. Get your relay stacked.
Okay, we're just about ready to start. Again, this is the boys 7-8 medley relay. They're going to do the first one, the back, then come back with the breast, then the fly, then finish up with the free. And let's see what's going to happen here with the boys 7-8. Let's get the young men in the water. Now, when we say 7-8, they can swim up. So you could have some of the tots, and a lot of times they do this because they don't have a lot of young people who are involved in their swimming program in the 7-8, or they're swimming in other races, and they want to conserve them. So they'll stick some of the tots in, let some of the better tops swim up.
Exactly. This is the only event in relays. Is the only event that they can swim up, though. In individual events, they cannot swim up.
And they're off. Looks like in lane 2, Town and Country grabs the early lead. But moving up quickly in lane 4 is the youngster from Paddock. And he may be in front.
Looks like lane 4's got the lead, and lane 3's right behind him.
And this is just the first leg. Here we go. Boom, we're in the water. But the first one in the water was Darnek.
It was a good start. And Matt Abel, I believe, is swimming breaststroke in there. I'm not being partial to Darnek, it's just I know the kid since I've coached there for so long.
And some competition in lane 4 from Paddock.
This looks like it's turned out to be a pretty good race.
Look at this here in lane number 6. Lane number 6, Atlantis coming up strong. So you've got Darnek, Atlantis, and Paddock almost in a 1, 2, and 3 position as they hit the wall, and we get ready for the fly. Very strong fly showing here for Darnek, and I'm not sure who that is.
I believe that's Kyle Roby. I think the fly is the most vital part of your relay because it's the strongest. It's one of the hardest strokes to swim, and you have to be so strong. So I think that the fly is vital for your relay to win.
And as they go into the free, it looks like Darnek has a commanding lead heading to the finish.
And as they come into the finish, let me see, what do we have? Atlantis on the outside here. Matt, let me ask you something. I see a stroke judge coming up and down the side of the pool. What is a stroke judge? What's his job during a meet like this? Okay, what a stroke judge does is there's specific criteria that you have to have for a specific stroke, as in butterfly. Both feet, when you kick, have got to stay together. If the stroke judge sees someone do a stroke wrong, they will disqualify them. And I think that... he saw that in lane number 6, he said. Lane number 6, Atlantis. And I didn't hear him say which one, but he was holding up his hand, pointing to lane number 6 over to the judges. Right. Yeah, everybody's got to be consistent with each stroke, and every team has to be consistent. And it's really good that we have stroke judges to make sure that everything's fair and the relays are won fairly.
Darnek, the apparent winner of the boys' 7- and 8-year-old medley relay, moving ahead to the girls' 9- and 10-year-old medley relay. It'll be the Owensboro Country Club in lane 1, Town and Country in lane 2, Darnek lane 3, Splash in lane 4, Atlantis in lane 5, and Paddock in lane 6.
And let's wait for the young ladies to get into the water to start this thing out. Indeed, we still are waiting for something for one of the lanes to finish. And that's one of the things I really like about the city swim meet is that they do give some courtesy to the swimmers that are still learning, that are not as strong, and they give them a chance to get out here and to strut their stuff, so to speak.
Oh, exactly, and especially in a city championship, you never know where your next champion's going to come from. You could have someone that's in lane 1 that could come out and win the thing. You never know in a championship like this. You know, kids get fired up.
Through the years, I've talked to some kids, and a couple of them right here at Darnek that said, hey, my first years of swimming, I actually had to hang on to the side of the pool. And then they come back and they set city records 4 or 5 years later. So you really can see a lot of these kids grow and mature, not just physically and mentally, but also in their swimming. Oh, exactly. I think swimming is a great sport. It really helps kids grow up and learn some responsibility about having team pride and to just be proud of themselves. I think it's a great sport for kids to get into, especially during the summer. And I'll tell you what, as we're pushing this, let me let you know, folks, I swam, you swam. Jerry, did you ever swim as a kid?
I sang.
Jerry sang. So 2 out of 3. At least we all have water experience, and we're getting ready to start this race.
This is event number 15, the girls' 9- and 10-year-old medley relay. They're in the water. They're ready to go.
9-10 girls, 100 medley relay. Place your feet. Timers ready. Swimmers, take your mark.
There we go. That water looks awful good, Jerry.
It's awful warm.
When do they have the official announcers race so Jerry and I can get in and play in the water?
They brought something up about that last year, but they didn't want to embarrass Joe too bad, so they thought, you know, they would just nix that idea right in the bud.
Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks a lot.
In
looks like we got Splash in lane 4 taking a great lead, a big lead. And Darnek in lane 3 right behind him.
Again, we're only about halfway through on this. Anything can happen.
Like I said before, the butterfly is a crucial leg of the relay. If you've got a strong butterfly, anybody could win this relay.
That's what Darnek will be looking for in this leg of the relay.
Darnek and Town and Country always seem to have been very, very strong in the fly. I don't know why, but that's one of the things I've observed through the years here.
I believe it's coach's preference. If they like that stroke, they're going to use it a lot more in their workouts.
We got a shootout here in the free.
Lane 4 Splash and lane 3 Darnek. Darnek's making a charge, but I think Splash might have got him. It's a little bit of an upset.
Darnek ran out of pool.
Yeah, I think so. If they had another half a pool length, they'd been all right.
Splash, the apparent winner in the girls' 9- and 10-year-old medley relay, event number 16, the boys' 9- and 10-year-old medley relay. They'll line up this way. In lane 1 is Atlantis. Lane 2, Splash. Lane 3, Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Darnek. Lane 5, Town and Country. And lane 6, Paddock.
And, you know, you really have to hand it to Splash. They've come on, what, 3 years here? They've done a tremendous amount of work, and they really have a good team built up. Atlantis, another one that's just come on the last few years. You know, it got down to where just maybe 4 years ago, we only had 3 or 4 competitive teams, and we're back up to 6 now in this city. And really and truly, we could conceivably have 7 or 8 in the next few years.
I think it's great, and I think with these teams coming up, it's spreading out the talent throughout the city. It used to be Darnek and Town and Country had all the powerhouses, but now you see the talent spread all across the city, and that's why we're going to have such a close meet today, which I think is just super.
And that's why you're hearing about so many Owensboro swimmers moving on, getting scholarships, and moving on into regional, state work, regional work, and really moving on to possibly some USA stuff.
Right, they're moving up to national levels, and I think that the reason why Owensboro has so many good swimmers is this concept right here of country club swimming. This is where kids get their start. All the kids from Owensboro, or for their Swim for the Racers, all started at a country club meet, and you never know where they're going to be. They could be national level swimmers.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. You have so many volunteers here today. We have moved up now. We're at 9, 10 boys, and I think what they're getting ready to do, Jerry, is to give some results. These are official results of the earlier races. We'll be getting a copy of those in a minute.
You'll hear them in the background. They will announce them on the PA. They told us they will give the results as soon as they are official to the big crowd that's on hand for the city swim meet, and they'll be bringing a copy to us, and we'll update it for you as time permits. Right now, we're awaiting the running of the 16th event in the city swim meet, the boys 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. Atlantis in lane 1, Splash in lane 2, Owensboro Country Club in lane 3, Darnek in lane 4, Town and Country in 5, and Paddock in 6.
You know, you said large crowd, and while we're waiting here, I had an opportunity to turn around and take a look at this crowd. You're right, buddy.
I guess.
There's a lot of folks out here, and I don't know if they're able to get some camera shots of the crowd or not right now. I think they're just taking a look as they're giving results. But we have a big crowd up on the hill, even up above the hill here at Darnek. There's a lot of room for them to sit. Most of the parents, I hate to say this, they've wimped out and they've gone to try to find some shade. And there's a few trees up on the hill there, so they're hiding up there. They've got their blankets, and I noticed a couple have even brought tents, Jerry. They're coming to stay for a while.
We were looking for an umbrella early as the bright sun beats down, but I guess we can both use a tan here today, and we'll take it.
I'm reading these results in the order of finish.
Okay, they are reading the results now, and that's the delay that we do have as we await the start of event number 16, the boys 9 and 10-year-old medley relay, and they're about ready to go. The instructions being given now to the competitors. These are boys 9 and 10-year-olds in the medley relay. They're in the water, and they'll be ready to go.
And again, you just gave our rundown, Jerry. The boys getting wet. And again, you know, an hour and a half ago, these guys got wet. They are very, very, very dry now and not very well loosened up.
And they're off.
Working a little bit of a handicap. Again, everybody is, but still, I would have liked to see them have the opportunity to loosen up just a little bit. Darnek really out in front here on this back.
A commanding lead in lane 4 with Darnek. Now we're into the breaststroke. Oops. Oh. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Just a mix-up there. He suddenly started going freestyle. So I'm sure there will be something happen there.
Well, I looked for the stroke judge. I don't know whether he saw it or not. And I am not going to be the one to call that.
Okay, Darnek is way out in front, but the youngster on the breaststroke suddenly went freestyle for a couple of swings, and I don't know, Joe.
It's a matter of whether it's like wrestling. If the stroke judge saw it, we're in trouble. If not, he's got it made. And I'm sure that's what the coach is thinking right now. I wonder if the stroke judge saw that or not.
And as it is, it's going to be a tight finish here between Owensboro Country Club and Darnek. Darnek, the apparent winner, but we're going to have to wait a ruling on that one.
Matt, let's ask you about that right now. We saw in a camera shot here, as they got into the water, as Darnek got into the water, the swimmer actually went to freestyle for just a second when he was supposed to be doing breast. I don't know whether the stroke judge saw that or not. If the stroke judge didn't see it, what happens?
Well, if the stroke judge didn't see it, then he's lucky and he gets away with it. But if the stroke, that is an illegal move, and if the stroke judge did see it, they could be disqualified.
Very quickly, let me give the official results. In event 1, the winner indeed was Tracy Keller, 20.24, the winner of the girls' tots 25-yard freestyle. Event 2, the winner Logan Johnson of Paddock, his time 22.39. That's boys' tots 25-yard freestyle. Event 3 was girls 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard freestyle, and the winner was Beth Ludwizak at 15.93. She's from the Owensboro Country Club. Winner of event 4, boys 7- to 8-year-old 25-yard freestyle, Kyle Roby the winner, 17.74. Event 5, girls 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard free, the winner Courtney Sears of Darnek, 31.12. And event 6, the winner was Adam Augenstein with a time of 30.768. Adam is from the Owensboro Country Club. Those are the official results of the first 6 events. Ready now with the girls 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. Event number 17 in lane 1's Owensboro Country Club, lane 2 Town and Country, Darnek in 3, Atlantis in 4, Paddock in 5, and Splash in 6.
And let's see what's going to go. Are we ready to start? Yep, Coach Powell from Western ready to start him out, and we got it.
This looks like it's going to be a close race. Both times, 1:08.24. Both the times that were submitted. They were submitted by Darnek and Atlanta, so this should be a close race. But it looks like the Country Club has got the early lead in this race.
But again, the key word is early. Anything can happen here.
Exactly.
In lane 2 now, Town and Country.
There's no real walkaways in this. You know, these kids are all good. These are all the best that the club has, and you're seeing that here with just a second or two differentiation time. There's a new word, differentiation.
That's pretty good, Joe.
In lane 4, out in front now, it's Atlantis. So we've had a swing of leaders on each stroke.
Yeah, it's really close. It looks like lane 4 has got a good lead, but for second place, lane 3, 2, and 1, which is Splash, Atlantis, and Paddock are all in there.
I don't know what happened there in that lane number 3, Darnek. They just sort of stood there for a second before they got in the water.
Slow
Again,
start.
That start is bad.
And it appears Atlantis, the winner, in lane 4 here in the girls 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. Event number 18 will be the boys 11 and 12-year-old medley relay. In lane 1 will be Splash, lane 2 Atlantis, lane 3 Paddock, lane 4 Darnek, and lane 5 Owensboro Country Club, lane 6 Town and Country.
Let's see what's going to happen here. Waiting for the boys to get into the water. Again, was there any word on whether these are going to be official times here? And I know we said we had a new city record, but this is not done with the electronic timer.
Right. They still haven't said any word, so apparently Jamie Mueller set a new city record. They came over and told us, so apparently they are using the manual timing for count 4 records.
In all fairness to the individuals, if indeed, they do set a record, it would be tough, not to give it to them, I guess.
Well, the way they're doing it, I believe, is they've got 3 stopwatches, and what they're doing is averaging the times.
And again, when you consider that the fact that just until a few years ago, this is the way we always did it.
Right.
It's not like this is something we've done for
some of the
20 years.
records in the book were done indeed on manual time.
Some of those old records, exactly.
Okay, this is the boys 11 and 12-year-old medley relays in order, lanes 1 through 6, Splash, Atlantis, Paddock, Darnek, Owensboro Country Club, and Town and Country. And boy, those reported times, the 3 in the middle are just blanketed right together.
There we go. We've got a good start.
Looks like lane 5, OCC, has taken a pretty good lead here, but it's early on the race, like you say, Joe.
Yeah, I always like to say anything can happen. I should add, it usually does.
Exactly. And Darnek in lane 4 and Splash in lane 1 are in neck and neck for second.
But you were talking about a good start, and there's exactly what can happen in a good start. If you notice in lane number 1 and lane number 4 there, both had a very, very good start, and they're just right on the tail of the leader.
Exactly, and here's like I said before, the key, I believe the key link in a relay is Butterfly.
And Mr. Masinik hits the water first for Darnek. I'm not sure which one the younger.
That's Ryan.
Ryan, okay.
That's his best stroke, I do believe, is Butterfly.
And look at him as he goes through the water, Jerry. It's almost a fluid motion. That's that year-round training for him that helps.
Exactly.
And it gives the freestyle a very, very comfortable lead, and there's no way they can overcome that.
And it looks like
will be the
Darnek's
winner.
opening the lead.
But the fight's for second in lane number 3, lane number 5, and lane number 6. I can't call it. Look at lane number 6 come up. That looks like Town and Country.
I believe that Town and Country did get that in lane 6. What a finish.
So Darnek, the apparent winner in the boys 11 and 12-year-old medley relay, and very quickly we'll move on to event number 19. We remind you, 86 events scheduled here this afternoon at the Darnek Pool in the city swim meet. Event 19 is girls 13 to 14-year-old medley relay. In lane 1 will be Atlantis, lane 2 Town and Country, lane 3 is Splash, lane 4 Darnek, lane 5 Owensboro Country Club, and lane 6 Paddock. And the reported time, the quick time reported Splash in lane 3, a 102.90. And the closest to him, Darnek at 103.
Yeah, I think Splash is going to have a super relay here. They've got Jamie Mueller and Jennifer Hargan, which are two outstanding swimmers that swim year-round. So I think Splash has a good shot of winning this. But Darnek is right behind him. Don't count him out. You never know in the championship meet how pumped up these kids can be.
This is girls 13 and 14-year-old medley relay. Atlantis, Town and Country, Splash, Darnek, Owensboro Country Club, and Paddock. They line up in that order. Atlantis in lane 1, Paddock in the outside lane in lane 6.
Just went and did a little police work,
Did
Jerry.
you find out about the time?
No, I went and did some police work.
Oh, okay.
I pushed a bunch of kids out of the way who were about to knock over our camera.
Oh, okay.
It started out very easy today, and then as everybody got into the swim meet and everybody got excited, they started coming down our way, and we didn't want to have any accidents.
The meet moving on very, very quickly. We're already into event number 19, the girls 13 to 14-year-old medley relay. Atlantis, Town and Country, Splash, Darnek, Owensboro Country Club, and Paddock in that order, starting from lanes 1 through 6.
14. Girl breaststrokers, please get out of the pool as soon as you get down this end. Backstrokers in the water.
Here's some last-minute instructions there, Matt, coming from the coach.
Right.
We say coach. I don't want anybody to think that it's a particular coach from a team.
Right. Coach Powell coaches Western Kentucky University swim team.
And he's sort of running the meet for us here today.
Exactly. They try to get someone impartial. It doesn't have anything to do with Owensboro swimming to run the meet, so everything's run fair.
Lanes 2, Town and Country, and 4, Darnek, the early leaders on the first leg of this relay.
Looks like lane 2, I believe that's Town and Country. He took off first off the blocks, followed by Splash in lane 3, and it's a close race for third between Darnek and I believe that's OCC.
Okay, here we go again. Just abreast. We're halfway up. Boom, in the water. Look at that start.
And here comes the butterfly leg.
You're talking about a, what, 4 or 4.5 foot pool here?
Right, that's how deep it is. 4 feet all around.
These kids really have to learn to dive. That's to be a racing dive. You can't go too deep in this.
No, not at all. You have to dive shallow, and that's the point of a racing dive.
Look at this. Look at this shootout. Lane 3, lane 4, or lane 2 and 3. Look at this.
Ooh, I don't know. That was pretty close between Town and Country and Splash.
Okay, we have some official results very quickly. Let's recap event number 7, girls 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard freestyle. The winner was Brooke Berry of Town and Country, 29.112. Event 8, boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard freestyle. The winner, Ryan Masenik, 27.697. He's from Darnek. In the girls 13 to 14-year-old 50-yard freestyle, the winner for Jennifer Hargan of Splash, 27.35. Boys 13 and 14-year-old 50-yard free, the winner was Chad Masenik of Darnek, 26.836. In the girls high school 50-yard free, Jamie Mueller, the impressive winner from Splash, 25.862, and that shatters the old record of 26.110. Boys high school 50-yard free, Andrew Chung, 24.851. Andrew is from Splash.
Okay, coming up now, we have the boys 13-14 medley relay, and here's the way they're going to line up. In lane number 1, it's going to be Town and Country. Lane number 2, Atlantis. Splash in lane number 3, Darnek's team. And number 4, the team from Paddock in lane number 5. And filling out the field, lane number 6, Owensboro Country Club. The times range, time submitted, range from a low of 1 minute, 0.29 seconds for Splash, down to 1:14.88 for Owensboro Country Club. But again, Matt, those are guesstimations from the coaches, and really and truly sometimes are used just to psych the other teams out.
Exactly. Joe, like what you were saying earlier about kids swimming up, you look over here at the beginning of this race here in backstroke, you see a lot of 13, 14-year-olds, but look in Darnek lane 4. I think that's Joseph Boswell. He's 11 and 12 years old, I believe.
Right.
And he's swimming up in 13, 14. So the coaches have got to use their fastest kids to swim up in relays just so they can get the points. Like I said, they're double. They're vital to a championship.
And they can't really, except for the tots, can't they all swim up?
In relays, they can. Individual events, they cannot swim up unless they stay in that age group.
Right. If you're a tot and you swim 13, 14, one category, you're stuck at 13, 14 throughout the day.
In individual events, but not in relays. That's right.
Here we go. The coach giving them some last-minute information again. He's wanting those fly, I guess would be the fly people to get out, the breaststroke people to get out of the pool very quickly.
Exactly, because the touch pad's only timed for, I believe, between 5 and 10 seconds. So as soon as they touch, they've got to get out. If they touch it after that, it's going to set the timer off, and it's going to stop the race for that lane.
Boys 13 and 14-year-old medley relay set to begin. They're in the water.
Swimmers take your mark.
There's your start.
In lane 1, it looks like Town and Country grabs the early lead.
Lane 2's right up there with them, Jerry.
That's Atlantis in lane 2. And Atlantis goes out in front on the exchange.
And it looks like Atlantis is pulling away.
Strong effort in the breast.
But look at this in lane number 4 coming up.
So right now it's Splash in lane 2.
But that's one of the Messianic boys in lane number 4. Who's that in lane number 1? Town and Country. So it's Atlantis, Town and Country, and Darnek.
And nobody's going to catch him. Atlantis going to romp home the winner.
Lane number 4, lane number 3, and lane number...
Here's a battle for second.
1, 3, and 4. That's it.
Race.
They've got us backwards here. I can't keep track of this.
It was an easy win for Atlantis, but boy, a real battle for second place, and we'll have to await the result of that one. Event number 21 is the girls' high school medley relay, and they'll line up this way. Owensboro Country Club in lane 1, Darnek in lane 2, Atlantis in lane 3, Splash in lane 4, Town and Country in lane 5, and Paddock in lane 6.
Okay, I tell you, we have gone through to the high school girls now. And we're almost just about done with the medley relay. You said there were, what, 80-some-odd events?
86 events.
But there again, when you look at each individual, you started with your free, and you went through all the frees. You started with your medley relays. You go through all the age categories here. So they do go quite quickly. Don't let that 80-some-odd fool you. This is a very, very quick event here at the Darnek Club. And I tell you what, the grounds look great out here.
They really do. It looks really good the pool looks good. The grounds look good. It's a great day for a city championship.
And we will find out who the city champ is, well, just about 2 hours from right now, Jerry, when they tabulate it all.
Each swimmer going 2 lanes. Back breast, butterfly, free.
When we go up to 100 like this, or actually a 200,
right?
Each
When you finish swimming,
contestant, each participant has to involve a turn, because they have to do, if you notice, they all start at this one end here, so they do 50, and then the turns again become very, very, very important in a race like this.
Exactly. Plus your training too. You know, you're swimming up against some of the best swimmers in Owensboro. You have to have some sort of training. You can't just hop in here and swim a race and expect to win.
Well, let's see what's going to happen right now. Okay, what's the key to a backstroke here, Matt?
I believe the key to backstroke is moving your arms as quickly as possible without losing a strong stroke. And like you said, Joe, the turn is crucial. Got to be fast, turn those legs over, and push off the wall as fast as you can.
Do you actually wait till you touch the side of the pool with your hand before you turn?
Exactly. You got to wait till you touch the side of the pool, and then push off with your hands over your heads and just get into that next wall as fast as you possibly can.
Town and Country moves right up there to the front, along with the competitor from Atlantis.
Okay, the breaststroke. We're to the breast, Mac. Tell me a little bit about the breaststroke while we have 50 yards here.
Okay, in the breaststroke, each person has to touch the wall with 2 hands. That's part of the rules of the stroke. If they don't touch with 2 hands and the stroke judge does see them, they will be disqualified.
Okay, so they touch, push back off, and as they come in here again, they're looking for stretched out arms as they get very, very close to the end.
Right, you want to reach you want to reach. That's what I coach my kids. Reach on your breaststroke.
Okay, next coming up is going to be the fly. And we've covered the other two. Tell me what to look for. What builds a strong fly swimmer?
Well, like I said, on the backstroke is your arms. How fast you move your arms and how strong you pull your arms underneath the body, I think is vital in butterfly. And as you can see in the turn, you must touch with 2 hands in butterfly too. Those are the 2 strokes that you must turn with 2 hands.
Okay, you had a lead there for Atlantis, and Darnek coming up very, very strong. And look at this in lane number 4. It looks like Splash really has some strong swimmers there.
Yeah.
In the free, of course, we're just talking about flat-out swimming here, aren't we, Matt?
Just moving your body through the water as fast as you possibly can. And it looks like it's going to be a good race here between Atlantis and Splash. And there's the turn, Darnek in third. They come off the wall.
Do you have any idea who that is, Frank?
I believe it's Jennifer Hagen. It's going to be a close one coming down the wall.
She overtakes it. Atlantis wins it.
I think Splash got it. I think Splash got it. Just barely touched him out.
A strong finish in the freestyle by Splash, and I think she splashed by her right there at the end.
Super finish by Jennifer Hagen in that.
Event number 22 is the boys high school medley relay. This will be our last relay event for now, and then we'll be coming back with the individual competition. The boys high school medley relay will line up with 5 entries. Owensboro Country Club does not have an entry in this. Paddock will be in lane 1, Town and Country in lane 2, Splash in 3, Darnek in 4, and Atlantis in 5.
After that last call, I'm almost embarrassed to open my mouth there again.
Boy, they came from behind. Splash with a strong finish in the high school girls medley relay.
Well, Jerry, I was looking at the record for Town and Country in the high school boys medley relay, and that's from 1979. I remember when I was swimming for Darnek, and we tried so hard to get this record, but we missed it by about a half of a second, and it's been standing.
Look at that time. Very impressive time.
It is a fast time.
150.15 set in 1979 by the Town and Country relay team.
Just to give you some idea, Splash's time 2:08, 2:44 turned in for Paddock. That's the range there. But guesstimations, I think so. This record is the actual record. That's the actual time turned in on the race.
And they're off. Boy, they're blanketed together at the start.
And it looks like it's going to tight race between Darnek and Splash in 3 and Darnek in 4.
As they go into that important turn, Splash is first into that turn. Darnek and Town and Country right behind. But look at this, lane number 5, Atlantis coming up, overtaking Darnek and overtaking Town and Country and going into the 2nd position.
And Splash has the big lead moving into the 3rd leg.
How important is coaching during the actual competition?
Well, I yell and scream whenever I coach, Joe, but I tell you, I don't really think that the kids can really hear you that much. I think it relieves some stress from the coach more than anything.
And now we're getting a tight battle here. In lane 5 is Atlantis challenging Splash. And Atlantis may grab the lead at the turn going into the freestyle.
It looks like Darnek's crawling up here in lane 4.
No, Atlantis
and
is
Atlantis right there with them.
But look at this coming out. They are neck and neck. You've got Town and Country and Splash. Is that correct?
No, Atlantis is here in lane 5 out in front.
And here comes Darnek in lane 4.
And in lane 3 is Splash.
Strong butterfly by Ryan Masenic.
Oh, they're close together. And it comes down to the freestyle. Boy, good exchange in lane 2 by Town and Country.
Oh, man, that gave them at least one body lane.
Yep.
That's also another important aspect of a relay is your starts. You don't want to leave too early, but you don't want to leave too late at the same time.
I'll tell you what, Town and Country picks that up, and look at this in lane number 5. Atlantis really coming on strong. So it's 2, 5, and 3. 2, 5, and 3. Town and Country, Atlantis, and Splash in a 1, 2, 3 position in that boys medley relay. I'm tired just watching these guys.
And we're watching the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet coming to you from the Darnek Swim Club. And we'll be back with more of the action after this timeout.
It's not just clothing anymore. Now, just in time for back to school, Kids Stop in Town Square North has just completed their expansion and remodeling and are announcing their newest addition with the grand opening of their new shoe department. Come in and choose from a full line of high-quality shoes from BabyBot and Stride Right. All shoes come in many widths and sizes to provide the comfort and natural fit growing feet need. It's the look kids want and the quality moms know and love. Kids Stop in Town Square North.
In just 6 days, your backyard could look like this. Home Pool doesn't just put in the pool. They make it look right in your yard with complete landscaping consultation. They're not a part-time company. Home Pools work year-round on decks, patios, and, of course, pools. And with 19 years of experience, you'll be quite satisfied with the job done for years after the one-year guarantee. Estimates are free. It's the first step toward fulfilling your backyard dreams and filling your own pool with water. Call or visit Jim Pfister, the pool man, at Home Pool, 1200 Burlew Boulevard.
And very quickly we go into the girls' tots 25-yard backstroke. Sarah Zerner, Amber Smith, Mary Jones, Jacqueline Berry, Whitney Bell, and Kara Hurt. And we've got a real battle in the middle with Mary Jones of Splash and Jacqueline Berry of Darnek. Oh, look at them go.
They're both leaving towards the side. They're both against the same rope. It looks like it's going to end that way. Mary Jones, Jacqueline Berry in a 1-2 position. But look at this for the third position. Third position goes to Sarah Zerner.
Boy, that was a tight one.
Lane number 1. So you had a 1, 2, 3. Those little girls were flat pumping that water.
And it appears Mary Jones of Splash splashed her way to victory in the girls' tots 25-yard backstroke as we go back to the individual competition. And you can see how quickly they are running off these individual events. Event number 24 will be the boys' tots 25-yard backstroke. It'll be Logan Johnson of Paddock in lane 1, Ryan Neal of Owensboro Country Club in 2, Chris Blandford of Atlantis in lane 3. In lane 4 is Zach Sparks of Atlantis. Lane 5, Brett Russell of Splash. In lane 6, Spencer Cooper of Atlantis. The meet record is held by Kyle Roby of Darnek, set in 1989. His time, by the way, was 24.661. The quick time in the prelims, Chris Blandford of Atlantis, 31.642.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, if you look here, Jerry, they really are pretty well spread out as far as time, but look at that record. The fastest time here in the prelims, 31 to a 24 for the record.
Boys tots backstroke. And way out in lane 1, Logan Johnson of Paddock sitting pretty good. In lane 4 is Zach Sparks of Atlantis. So we might have a surprise here. It looks like Sparks of Atlantis is hanging on. He's slowing down a bit, and the favorite there, Chris Blandford, is moving up quickly, but he may not get there, but he gets position. And, what a tough break there for Zach Sparks of Atlantis on the backstroke. He lost his bearings there a bit, drifted over, hit the rope, and it may have cost him a victory.
Look at me driving home sometimes. I'll put in these 12 and 15-hour days, like, let me get to the bed. All the mothers were standing to the right of me, and I had to move the microphone. They were all screaming so much at their kids.
So those were the tots, the boys' tots that just completed the 25-yard backstroke. We'll move on to the girls' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke. In lane 1, Christine Coy of Paddock. Lane 2, Lori Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Kelly Kern of Darnek. Lane 4, Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club. 5, Natalie Lindau of Darnek. And lane 6, Mary Wathen of Paddock.
We got some names in there for you to work on, don't we, Jerry?
Do.
Here we go. We got to start. And the first one out, the first one pulling up ahead was gone. It looked like Christine Coy in lane number 1. And Christine Coy and Lori Ludwizak, 1 and 2, followed by Darnek's Kelly Kern.
Boy, is this close. Look at it. You can see.
Look at Darnek come from behind. Kelly Kern pulls it on, and really, as Matt was saying earlier, you have to work with those arms and pull back, and that's what she did.
Kelly Kern of Darnek, the apparent winner in the girls' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke. We'll move on to event 26, the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke. Jake Sparks of Atlantis will be in lane 1, and lane 2 is Kyle Roby of Darnek. Lane 3, Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 4, Josh Murphy of Splash. Lane 5, Matt Abel of Darnek. And lane 6, Will Augustus of Darnek. The meet record for this event set by Clay Purdom of Town and Country in 1986, 18.52. The quick time yesterday in the preliminaries Atlantis' Chris Harney with a 22.664.
And let's see what's going to happen as they get ready to tell the young men to get up on the starting block. Coach is giving them, I say up on the starting down in the pool for this event. The coach is giving them some last-minute instructions. The coaches are funnier watching this event than the kids are.
Well, with these little ones, the tots and the 7- and 8-year-olds, it seems to get the adrenaline up from the parents and from the fans and from the coaches as they watch these youngsters in the early stages of their careers. And this is the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke. Sparks, Roby, Harney, Murphy, Abel, and Augustus.
You know, the only bad thing about this, and if there is a bad thing, is that some of them get a little bit so upset. They get so into these that they get so upset that this sort of problem happens, you know, that they can lose. And you see them cry, and right behind us there, I saw a mom consoling her daughter, who obviously was in one of the events earlier.
There are no losers. They all qualified yesterday in the prelims,
right, exactly.
And they're here. So that's, to a lot of them, that's their goal, you know, to try to qualify for the finals. And certainly some of them are qualifying for the first time to reach the finals. And, of course, we'll watch the quick times here for the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke. Josh Murphy of Splash, the one to watch. Or make that Chris Harney of Atlantis the one to watch in lane 3. He has the fastest time in the preliminaries.
I think we had a young man who thought he was in this event as mom or a responsible other brings him up, and the coach is going, what? I don't know what to do with him. That young man's ready to swim, and he doesn't have a lane.
She's saying, hey, wait a minute, is this your event or is this not your event? So they say, no, it isn't. Or he may have been an alternate standing by to make sure everybody got in there, too.
You know, we haven't named the alternates, and perhaps we should start doing that. If we start now, though, we're going to disappoint the ones that we didn't announce earlier, so I don't know what to do with that.
They're in the water, ready to go with the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke.
I was talking to Jay Eckelberger earlier before the meet, and I believe that he said there was some revisions done on the heat sheet, but I don't think that the names are correct on the heat sheet, because I see a couple Darnek kids in there, and there's no Darnek kids on the heat sheet, so I don't think our names are correct.
No, there are 2 Darnek.
I see 2 Darnek kids.
Yes.
Oh, is this 7-8? I'm behind. I'm sorry, Joe. Made a mistake.
If that's the first one we make today, buddy, we got it made.
Real battle in lane 3. Chris Harney and Josh Murphy in lane 4 from Splash, and coming up in lane 5 is Matt Abel of Darnek. This is a tight one.
Oh, Abel went from a possible first to a third, it looked like. Is that what you called it, Gary?
It appeared Chris Harney of Atlantis may have held on there at the end, but again, that's one of those that's going to be too close to call. We'll have to wait for the official results.
Where it appeared that Abel had his problem was that he stopped about 5 feet away from the end of the pool to look and see where he was.
Right.
And there's got to be that fear of bumping your head on the back of that pool.
Girls 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard backstroke set to begin. In lane 1 is Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 2, Courtney Sears of Darnek. Lane 3, Lindsay Abel of Darnek. Lane 4, Tammy Price of Splash. Lane 5, Heather Woolley of Splash. And lane 6, Sarah Potts of Atlantis. 6 competitors in the girls' 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard backstroke. Chrissy Geyer of Darnek holds the record in this event.
And they're off.
In the preliminaries, there was only 3/100ths of a second between Tammy Price of Splash and Lindsay Abel of Darnek, but it looks like that Lindsay Abel might have a little bit of a lead right now
But she has
as she goes into the first turn.
Coming up that all-important turn. Here we go. Up, over, under, around, and through.
And it looks like Lindsay did get a really good turn off that, and seems like she's pulling away, but Tammy Price is hanging right with her for first place.
Now coming up quickly is Tammy Price of Splash, moving into the lead as they near the finish. So a come from behind win for Tammy Price of Splash in the girls' 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard backstroke. She got there in a hurry.
Yeah, she finished that race really strong.
But again, between that record that Chrissy Geyer set in 86 of 33.94 and the fastest time in the prelims, you've got, what, 8 tenths of a second, or 8 seconds, rather. So I don't think we're going to see anything as far as a record breaker there.
Event 28 is the boys' 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard backstroke. In lane 1's Bill Hess of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 2, Eric Sears of Darnek. Lane 3, Joseph Boswell of Darnek. Lane 4, Adam Augenstein of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 5 is John Hess of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 6, Nathan Waniger of Paddock.
So you got the Hess boys in there, brothers from the country club. You've got Sears and Boswell, both from Darnek. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 with Augenstein and, I was wrong. One of the alternates was from the country club. So you got 3 from the country club on this one, Jerry. It looks like they really have some strong swimmers in this event.
Joseph Boswell, or make that Adam Augenstein, had the quick time, or had the second quickest time, 37.713. Quick time is Joseph Boswell of Darnek, 37.378. Brian Keller, of course, you're very familiar with his name from Darnek, holds the record for this event.
I ever tell you about the time that I was coach for Joseph Boswell? I'm not going to tell you about I was his T-ball coach. We'll just say I was a assistant swimming coach.
Okay, in lane 4, we have Adam Augenstein out in front.
And it's looking close after that turn. Looks like Joseph Boswell's trying to make a move, but Adam Augustein's holding on. They come into the last half of the last 25.
Boy, he is walking. Look at that.
Strong finish.
Adam Augenstein of Owensboro Country Club, the winner in the boys' 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard backstroke. We say the apparent winner, the unofficial winner. We do have some official results from some of the earlier events. Event 13, girls 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. Darnek won with a time of 1:27.53. The boys 7 and 8-year-old medley relay. Darnek the winner, time 1:34.54. Girls 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. The winning team was Splash with a time of 1:10.75. Boys 9 and 10-year-old medley relay. The winning team, let's see, we had some revisions on this. I guess the order of finish, number 1, Owensboro Country Club. The Darnek was the winner of the boys 9 and 10-year-old medley relay with a time of 1:11.82. And the girls 11 and 12-year-old medley relay, the winner was Atlantis, 1:05.54. And the boys 11 and 12-year-old medley relay, the winner was Darnek with a time of 1:07.05. Those are official results.
Girls 11 and 12 50-yard back. Lane number 1 is Carly Kunda from Atlantis. Jane Hess of the Owensboro Country Club. Lane number 2, lane 3 holds Brooke Berry of Town and Country. Andrea Ambrose from Atlantis. In lane number 4, Courtney Lindo from Darnek. Lane number 5. And lane number 6 holds Tiffany Strong of Paddock. And they're off. You're watching them swim.
Lane 3, it looks like Brooke Berry of Town and Country out in front early.
Followed by Andrea Ambrose.
And a strong challenge in lane 4 from Andrea.
Looks like Brooke Berry's going to finish with a win here.
Joe and Jerry.
Joe and Jerry. I'll remember your names by the end of the meet, probably.
Joe and Jerry's Ice Cream. And, you know, it's got to be that purple and pink hat that helped Brooke win.
Brooke Berry of Town and Country, the winner of the girls 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke. That was event number 29. This is event number 30, the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke.
Now let's go back 1 to the boys 9, 10, 50-yard back. And we had a new city record, one of Brian Keller's records, from 83 fell today, apparently, as Adam Augenstein set a city record of 35.64. The record had been 36.91, so over a second shaved on that Brian Keller record of 1983. Again, that's unofficial, but that's the way it looks from our stopwatches here, Jerry.
Hats off to Adam Augenstein on setting the apparent meet record. Now we have the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke. They're in the water. In lane 1 is Starrett Mercer of Darnek. Lane 2, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 3, Ryan Masenic of Darnek. Lane 4, Clay Purdom of Town and Country. Lane 5, Eric Foster of Splash. Lane 6, Nicholas Waniger of Paddock.
And they're started about halfway down the first lane. They've got to turn around and do the back. And let's watch this turn here. Oh, Masenic had a nice turn.
Really fast turn. You can see the lead that he got. There's always been a rivalry between Ryan and Clay Purdom here, and I think Ryan's going to avenge one of his wins.
I don't know. Clay's turning it on right now.
And it
that
appears.
was close, but I think Ryan Masenic got it with Clay Purdom second from Town and Country.
That was the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke. Those results, of course, unofficial. We'll have the final results, the official results, as soon as they're made available. Event number 31 is the girls 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard backstroke. Kathy Hargan of Splash will be in lane 1. Lane 2 is Leanne Presser. Lane 3, Jennifer Hargan of Splash. Leanne's from Town and Country. Lane 4 is Tanya Miller of Darnek. Lane 5, Mandy Keller of Splash. And lane 6, Heather Cabot of Town and Country. The meet record is held by Chrissy Geyer of Paddock, set in 1989, 109.826. Quick time in the prelims yesterday, turned in by Jennifer Hargan of Splash, 114.987.
And let's see what's going to happen. Getting ready to get the young ladies into the water. They are doing 100-yard back, you may notice. That means 4 complete lengths of the pool. And, Matt, you got to start saving some energy when you go up to 100 yards.
Exactly. You're going to have to pace yourself a little bit on 100. And I think that these girls are not going to go out as fast as they can in the first 25. They're going to try to save a little bit so they can bring it home strong.
If you don't practice, you really lose it when it starts showing up at 100, doesn't it?
Exactly, and a lot of these kids, for 100 yards from them is a sprint. They're going to go out as hard as they train. They're going to go out and they're going to sprint the whole 100 yards. But some, they don't train as much as the other ones do, and they're going to have to save themselves towards the end, I do believe.
Can you still swim 100, Matt?
I swam 100 the other day in practice with the other kids, 100 freestyle, and I did fairly well. The kids were kind of amazed.
Boy, 3 of them right together here at near the halfway point. That's Leanne Presser, Jennifer Hargan, and Tanya Miller.
I think it's almost like in horse racing, they start pacing themselves with one another. And they've got to turn it on that last lap.
Exactly. Right now, it looks like Jennifer Hargan's starting to turn it on. She's going to take that 3rd length, and she's going to use her advantage. But Tanya Miller and Leanne Presser are staying right there with her. So I think it's going to be this last turn and see how much they got left for the final 25 to see who's going to win this race.
And they get set for that final 25 in lane number 3. Is that Jennifer? Jennifer Hargan.
Jennifer in 3 and Leanne in 4.
2. Leanne Presser right there with her in lane 2. It's 2 and 3, Presser and Hargan.
And I think Jennifer Hargan's going to pull it out.
It's Hargan, Presser, and Miller as they come in a 3-2-1. 3-2-1.
That was the girls' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard backstroke. Moving on to the event number 32 is the boys' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard backstroke. In lane 1 will be Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. Lane 2, Chad Masinick of Darnek. Lane 3, Robbie Lyons of Town and Country. Lane 4, Jason Thomas of Atlantis. Lane 5, Kevin Hatton of Splash. And lane 6, Gilmore Chung of Splash. Brian Keller of Darnek holds the record, 101.59.
You know, the last time you and I did something like this, Jerry, you gave me the job of reading off the mutuals.
That's right. I said, that's why they're at the post, and they're off.
Those of you who had the exact combination of 3 and 2.
They had it.
Win $9,450.
There's no pari-mutuel wagering in the city swim meet.
It's funny you should say that, though, because I believe that some of the Olympic swimmers, Matt Biondi and Tom Jager in Australia, they did that. They had them in a closed circuit TV and they placed bets on them, but the swimmers didn't know about it till the end of their race. So I guess it does happen in some places.
Let's watch it on the turn. The first of 4 trips down the pool. And in lane 3, it's Robbie Lyons of Town and Country. But boy, he's got it. Suddenly, it's not Robbie. In lane 4, moving on top is Jason Thomas of Atlantis. And stamina will become a factor. Become a factor from here on in. And it looks like in lane 4, Jason Thomas of Atlantis out in front.
Yeah, it does look like Jason Thomas is pulling away here. But like you said, it's like I said, last 25, they've really got to turn it on.
And a good turn in lane 3 by Robbie Lyons.
As they come down the last half of the last 25, it does look like Jason Thomas. It's a battle for second between Jeremiah Johnson and Robbie Lyons.
And Jason Thomas of Atlantis romps home the winner in the boys' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard backstroke. Some other official times. These are the official results in event 19, girls 13 and 14-year-old medley relay. Splash, the winner, 59.49. In the boys' 13 to 14 medley relay, the winner was Atlantis in 59.55. In event 21, the girls' high school medley relay, the winner was Splash with a 2:10.36. The Owensboro Country Club team was disqualified. One hand
One hand touch.
Okay.
Only one hand touch in the breaststroke. And remember, we talked about that. You had to have the two.
Okay, in event number 22, boys high school medley relay, the winning team was Town and Country, 203.83. And the girls' tots 25-yard back, Mary Jones of Splash, the winner, in 23.41. And in the boys' tots 25-yard back, it was Chris Blanford of Atlantis in 29.79.
The girls' high school 100-yard backup right now. The record set by Tanya Ledan back in 1988 at a 103.069 seconds. And lane number 1 today, we have Kate Hess from Atlantis, Diane Snyder from Darnek in lane number 2, Lisa Kelly from Town and Country, lane number 3, and lane number 4, it's Jamie Mueller of Splash. Lane number 5 holds Melissa Wink of Atlantis, and Atlantis is Maggie Craig in lane number 6. And Matt, we're already 25 yards into this race.
Right, it looks like Jamie Mueller's taking a little bit of a lead, but Lisa Kelly in lane 3 is there right behind her. And in lane 2, it looks like Diane Snyder's right up there too.
Now, is this Jamie's stroke?
I'm not really sure. I haven't talked to Jamie that much about her strokes, but I don't think this is one of her stronger strokes. I think that butterfly and freestyle is one of her stronger strokes, but she's just an outstanding all-around
She just slides through the water.
You watch that young lady, and you see the way she's built. Very, very big up in the shoulder area, and very, very strong. And that's where those muscles are developed again for the fly and the breast.
Right. And it looks like Jamie's still holding on to her lead, but the battle is for second between Diane Snyder and Lisa Kelly as they finish up this 100 backstroke.
Very impressive performance by Jamie Mueller of Splash, the winner in the girls' high school 100-yard backstroke.
She's up out of the water looking around long before anybody else gets there. And it looked like Snyder and then Kelly in a 1-2-3 situation there, Jerry.
Next event number 34, is the boys' high school 100-yard backstroke. In lane 1 will be Chad Staton of Splash. Lane 2, Jason Pickrell of Atlantis. Lane 3, Brad Schmid of Town and Country. Lane 4, Andrew Chung of Splash. Lane 5, Bobby Goebel of Town and Country. And lane 6, Bart Hubbs of Darnek.
Okay, the record on this set by Brian Keller. Everybody else slowest time, or fastest time yesterday, 109.53. Brian Keller turned in back in 88 2 years ago, a 59.083. What, 9-10 seconds difference on that? That young man really is a dynamite swimmer, and is still swimming now.
Exactly. He's still swimming United States Swimming with the family line. Has, from what I understand, having an outstanding summer.
They're ready to go. Boys high school 100-yard backstroke.
Okay, boys. Play straight again. Take your mark.
Good start. They're all side by side.
Looks like Brad Schmid and Andrew Chung are battling it for first right now. So going to that first turn.
Good turns by both. In lane 3, Brad Schmid, Andrew Chung. In lane 4, they're right together, Chung and Schmid.
And 100 is where your training comes in, and we'll see who's going to have the most training in backstroke, it seems.
They've made some good turns, and
the turns are still neck and neck, but it looks like Andrew's starting to pull away from Brad.
Andrew Chung of Splash in lane 4, Brad Schmid of Town and Country in lane 3. Boys high school 100-yard backstroke, 25 yards to go.
This young man, Chung, has been swimming since he was a tot competitively here in the city. Look at this.
Look at this.
Look at this. What a race. Looks like Brad Schmid.
Schmid and Chung, Schmid and Chung, Schmid and Chung.
I think Schmid got that.
Boy, what a strong finish in the final 25 yards by Brad Schmid of Town and Country, the apparent winner in the boys high school 100-yard back, and Andrew Chung right there with him. We'll have to await the official results on that one. Event 35 is a girls 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard breaststroke. It's Lisa Cooper of Atlantis in lane 1. Lane 2, Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Rachel Jones of Splash. Lane 4, Mia Masenik of Darnek. Lane 5, Natalie Lindau of Darnek. And lane 6, Jennifer Johnson of Town and Country. Whitney Miller of Town and Country holds the record in this event, 20.377, set back in 1989. Quick time in the prelims, and look how close this is. It's Rachel Jones of Splash, 23.431. Mia Masenik of Darnek, 23.500. And Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club, 23.668. Not much separating those three.
No, not at all. I think it's going to come down to who has longer fingernails in this race, though, Jerry.
Well put.
I don't know. We're talking about these little ones, and again, do they get shook? I would. If I had mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and anybody that's ever been in my family or has ever kissed my head at Christmas time watching me, I'd be a little shook.
Oh, exactly. And these parents get these kids so fired up.
25-yard breaststroke. Girls 7- and 8-year-old. Boy, they're right together. In lane 4, it looks like Mia Masenik may have the slight lead as they head toward the finish.
It's going to be close.
That's the way you see it, Matt?
Yeah, it looked like Mia Masenik from Darnek that got the win, and it was really close between second and third. We'll have to wait for final results for that, Jerry.
Boys 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard breaststroke, event number 36. It's in lane 1, Jake Sparks of Atlantis. Lane 2, Blake Lamar of Atlantis. Lane 3, Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 4, Kyle Roby of Darnek. Lane 5, Alex Geip of Town and Country. And lane 6, Jeffrey Bruce of Town and Country. Brad Wilkerson of Paddock set the record in this event back in 1986, 20.27. Quick time in the preliminaries by far, Chris Harney of Atlantis, 22.645.
And look at the difference in yesterday's prelims between Harney and the next fastest qualifier of Roby, 22.6 versus 25.049. So you see a full 2-3 seconds there, a difference between the number 1 and the number 2 seed going into these finals.
Boys 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard breaststroke, and they're off. In lane 3, it looks like Chris Harney of Atlantis has the lead as they head toward the finish, being challenged by Kyle Roby of Darnek in lane 4, and in lane 5, Alex Geip of Town and Country.
And it looks like it's going to be a battle for second, Jerry. But I think Kyle Roby from Darnek pulled it through.
So Chris Harney of Atlantis, the apparent winner in the boys 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard breaststroke. Moving on to event 37 is the girls 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard breaststroke. In lane 1's Jamie Ruth of Atlantis. Lane 2, Sarah Potts of Atlantis. Lane 3, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 4, Courtney Sears of Darnek. Lane 5, Whitney Miller of Town and Country. Lane 6, Kristen Lamar of Atlantis. Jamie Mueller of Darnek set this record 3 years ago in 1989, 38.58.
Okay, so here we go. We got 3 Atlantis swimmers. Splash, Darnek, and Town and Country. Atlantis, obviously, or rather Town and Country. Atlantis, there we go. Get it right, Joe. Obviously, a good favorite here to show.
Yeah, they were strong. They were strong in 9-10 girls last year. So apparently all their girls were 9 last summer. So they're 10 this year, still swimming in the same age group. Very dominant in this age group.
Boy, we had Rick Sears working today. We actually went down and made him get some soft drinks for everybody. And here he is trying to videotape this. He's got his little Courtney in there, and let's see what's going to happen. I say little Courtney. She's in 9-10s right now, and she's right up there. And she is our fastest next fastest qualifier.
Rocky Hatton of Splash, 41.796. Has the quick time in the prelims. They're in the water.
I still say that water looks very good right now, Jerry.
I'm ready to jump in.
Matt, let's you and I sort of sneak in over here and jump in.
Sure, I don't think anybody mind a bit. Woo!
And we got a tight one going here between Rocky Hatton and Courtney Sears. This is 50 yards. This is the final leg, and out in front in lane 3 is Rocky Hatton of Splash. But right there in lane 4 is Courtney Sears of Darnek.
Here comes Courtney Sears. It's a battle for first and second. Oh, I don't know. I think Courtney might have got that one.
I couldn't call it.
That's one we're going to have to remember. The girls' 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard breaststroke, either Rocky Hatton of Splash or Courtney Sears of Darnek, and that may have been our tightest finish of the meet so far.
That's why they have that electronic timing, so they can tell whenever they touch the pad.
I got to tell you, up in the truck, up in the television truck, they looked at it again, and again, this is unofficial. They said the one in the orange one. That was Courtney Sears with Darnek. Her dad sitting down there. I don't know what, he's giving me a thumbs up, so I think he's ready to go too.
Boys 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard breaststroke ready to go. In lane 1 is Ryan Montgomery of Atlantis. Lane 2, Eric Sears of Darnek. Lane 3, Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Joseph Boswell of Darnek. Lane 5, Bill Hess of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 6, Rick Raymond of Town and Country. Quick time in the prelims, 44.109. Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club, and here they go.
They're in the water. I wanted to say that before you did.
Okay.
You can say it next, Matt.
Okay, we'll just take turns. How about that? It looks like Adam Augustine's pulling ahead, but Joseph Boswell from Darnek in lane 4 is right behind him.
They're tight.
From the turn.
Here we go. Oh, look at this. Little heads bobbing up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 abreast here as they come into it.
Eric Sears and Joseph Boswell are trying to give Adam Augustine a race for his money.
And look at this in lane number 4. Look at that.
Looks like
Joseph Boswell finishing strong.
And I believe it was Boswell of Darnek coming home winner in the boys 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard breaststroke. We have some official results now. In the girls 7 and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke, the winner was Kelly Kern of Darnek, 21.25. Boys 7 and 8-year-old 25-yard backstroke, Chris Harney of Atlantis, the winner in 22.39. Girls 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard backstroke, won by Tammy Price of Splash, 39.49. In the boys 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard backstroke, the winner was Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club, 35.64. Girls 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke, the winner Brooke Berry of Town and Country, 33.92. And the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard backstroke, the winner was Ryan Masenik of Darnek in 34.38.
Girls 11-12, 50-yard breast. Lane number 1 holds Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. Jane Hess in the Country Club for lane number 2. Go ahead, Matt. You're supposed to say they're in the water.
They're in the water.
Okay. Lane number 3 has Erica Lamar from Atlantis. Brooke Berry in lane number 4 with Town and Country. Carly Cunda from Atlantis. Lane number 5. And Mackenzie Helm from Atlantis. Lane number 6. Atlantis has 4 swimmers in this competition. And the fastest right now, Erica Lamar, checked in yesterday with a 38.549. Matt, how do you see it?
Well, it's a battle right now between Eric Lamar and Brooke Berry.
And Jane Hess is right there,
Jane Hess
too.
from the Country Club, that's right. It's going to be the battle all the way to the end.
Boy, this is a tight one, all 3.
Looks like Brooke Berry may be pulling it out. I think she got it.
Brooke Berry, this was that last surge coming down to the finish. You could see her gearing up for it, too, as she neared the finish.
She knew what she was doing. She had to get into that wall hard to win her race, and that's what she did.
Again, I think it's that purple and pink hat, guys, that lets that girl win those races.
Event number 40.
Hat or something, I'm not sure.
Event number 40 is boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard breaststroke. In lane 1 is John Hicks of Splash. Lane 2, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 3, Clay Purdom of Town and Country. Lane 4, Ryan Masenik of Darnek. Lane 5, Eric Foster of Splash. And lane 6 is Scott Settle of Town and Country. This is the boys 11 and 12-yard 50-yard breaststroke. Chad Masenik of Darnek holds the meet record, 34.132. Quick time in the prelims, 41.973. Clay Purdom of Town and Country.
And as you were announcing that, they're giving us a nice shot of just water. You're supposed to say it, Jerry.
They're in the water.
Very good.
And, boy, we have about 3 or 4 abreast as they near the halfway point of the first lap.
It's looking really close between Ryan Masenik and Clay Purdom.
Ryan Masenik is in lane 4. And on the turn, a good turn here in lane 4 by Ryan Masenik and Clay Purdom. They're neck and neck, and it may be Masenik just slightly out in front as they near the finish.
He's coming into the wall strong. Clay Purdom, but for a second, looks like Ryan Masenik's pulling ahead for first. And I believe he got it. That was too close to call for second place, I do believe, Jerry.
But it appeared Ryan Masenik of Darnek coming home the winner in the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard breaststroke. Moving on now to event number 41. The girls 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 1's Leanne Presser of Town and Country. Lane 2, Jennifer Hargan of Splash. Lane 3, Tanya Miller of Darnek. Lane 4, Heather Cavett of Town and Country. Lane 5, Sarah Jones of Splash. Lane 6, Nicole Vessels of Darnek. Diane Snyder of Darnek holds the record in this event set back in 1987. Quick time in the prelims. Tanya Miller of Darnek, 1:21.148.
It's looking like it's going to be a pretty close race, though, because there's only about 4/100ths of a second between Tanya and Heather Cabot from Town and Country. So this should be a really interesting race. I think it's going to come down to turns and just who has enough guts coming into the wall, Jerry.
We have Presser, Hargan, Miller, Cabot, Jones, and Vessels going in the girls' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke. And they're ready to go.
I think another important part of breaststroke is watch whenever they dive into the water and watch the underwater pull they do when whenever they're underneath the water. Watch the pull that they do. That pull has to be so strong to get you out the farthest that you possibly can go. So
Are they allowed only one?
One pull with the arms, one kick, and their head must come to the surface of the water before they start their stroke. Without that underwater pull, you would be having a hard time making up time in a race.
Those young ladies, some of them almost come a half length of the pull on that pull.
Exactly. It's something that you work on in practice. Every time you do breaststroke, you work on your underwater pull.
And out in front in lane 3 is Tanya Miller of Darnek. But it's by the narrowest of margins in lane 4 is Heather Cabot of Town and Country.
It's coming into that first 50. It looks like it's pretty much of a dead heat between Tanya Miller and Heather Cabot.
On the turn, the slight edge in lane 3 to Tanya Miller. But boy, Cabot is right there.
Tanya does have a good turn, but it seems like Heather's making up a lot of ground on her in the straightaway.
So we'll watch this final turn, the 100-yard breaststroke. Girls 13 to 14-year-old. Tanya Miller of Darnek out in front. Heather Cabot is right there from Town and Country. And Tanya Miller got the edge on the turn on that one.
Yes, she does. She had a really good turn, but here comes Heather coming up strong. Tanya's got to finish the race to get in there.
Just a few yards away, but that could look like a mile.
I guarantee it.
And it appears Tanya Miller of Darnek, the winner in the girls' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke. And we'll be back with more action from the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet after this timeout.
In 1950, the center of commerce for Owensboro was downtown, and that's where Bowen Tire started, right in the middle of the action at 3rd and Davis Streets. Things changed, so did Bowen Tire. In 1963, we moved to 5th and Triplet Streets. Now the hub of activity is concentrated in the south end of town, so Bowen Tire is there also, at 2600 Frederica. For 40 years, we've been the tire, brake, and alignment store for Owensboro. A company you can depend on. Remember, Bowen Tire, a different kind of tire store.
Snyder Awning can help you make a great entrance. Snyder Awning can help you dress up and cool down the premises with attractive awnings. Snyder Awning can help you conserve heating and cooling costs with energy-saving storm windows and doors. Snyder Awning can give your home or business that extra measure of protection with iron security doors. With 64 years experience to their credit, nobody does it better.
Snyder Awning, 333 Triplet since 1926.
Tennis is a fun and rewarding sport you can enjoy all year round at Our Tennis House. Let the professionals at Our Tennis House help you with your tennis skills. Classes are starting early in September, so beginners get enrolled today. Or you pros, why not polish your tennis skills? And when you think you're ready, try out for the Our Tennis House tennis team. Their tennis team has year-round competition, indoors or out. Stop by and see the pros at Our Tennis House, located at 5931 Highway 56 West in Owensboro.
And unofficially, Tanya Miller of Darnek, the winner there in the girls' 13 to 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke. And that was a real battle between Cabot and Tanya Miller. The boys' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke will be coming up, event number 42. In lane 1 will be Stephen Delaney of Paddock. Lane 2, Greg Price of Splash. Lane 3, Chad Masenik of Darnek. Lane 4, Kevin Hatton of Splash. Lane 5, Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. And lane 6, Gilmore Chung of Splash. Brian Keller of Darnek holds the record in this event, a good 1:10.72 set in 1987. Chad Masenik had by far the quick time in the prelims, 1:13.526.
This is Chad's best stroke, so he should pretty much run away with this, but you never know. In the city championship, like I said before, Kids get fired up. You never know what they can do.
The sun's starting to go down a bit and cooling things off a little, getting some shadows onto the pool. Is that ever a factor with the heat of the afternoon sun on the pool, or when you get into the evening time?
Sure, I'm sure it does have a little bit of factor, especially with the little kids, because you know how they are. They're hard to control. They're running around all over the place, and when they get hot, they lose a lot of energy. So you got to try to keep the kids settled down so they don't get hot and lose energy.
Boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke, and they're in the water and off. Good start. They're all right there together.
Okay, now they didn't seem to stay under the water and do that pull like the girls did.
Right. It just depends on what your coach does and how your style of your stroke is. You may be quick and it may still be strong. A lot of people stay under longer because they feel it's stronger. So it just depends on each individual swimmer, I believe, Joe.
Chad Masenik of Darnek out in front, but Kevin Hatton, the splash, is right there to challenge. We're reaching the halfway point. Boys 13 and 14, 100-yard breaststroke. Chad Masenik and Kevin Hatton, the front runners. Chad's out in front.
And they're coming to the third turn. Chad's just barely ahead of Kevin Hatton. Let's see who it was.
Here we come. And look at this. I think we're going to have a race here between Masenik and who is that?
Kevin Hatton from Splash. Chad's finishing this race really strong.
And it appears Chad Masenik of Darnek is going to come home the winner of the boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke.
And your race seems to be for third place, Jerry.
And it looks like in lane 2 was Greg Price coming in there in third place. We have some official results. Event 31, the girls 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard backstroke. The winner was Jennifer Hargan of Splash with a 113.16. Boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard backstroke. The winner was Jason Thomas of Atlantis in 113.01. In the girls high school 100-yard backstroke, Jamie Mueller of Splash, the winner 107.95. Boys high school 100-yard backstroke, the winner Brad Schmid of Town and Country 103.5. In the girls 7 and 8-year-old 25-yard breaststroke, the winner was Mia Masenik with a 22.45. She's from Darnek. And in the boys 7 and 8-year-old 25-yard breaststroke, the winner was Chris Harney of Atlantis, 22.46.
And they're in the water.
Oh, very good. Very
this
good.
This is girls high school 100-yard breaststroke.
Lane number 1 is Dee Dee Embry from Town and Country. Jamie Mueller with Splash in lane number 2. Lisa Kelly from Town and Country, lane number 3. Darnek's Diane Snyder, lane number 4. Kimberly Chung of Splash in lane number 5. And in that lane number 6 from Atlantis, Melissa Wink. Your fastest qualifier yesterday, Lisa Kelly, lane number 3. Watch out, though, Diane Snyder, Darnek. Both of them in there at about 0.7 of a second separating the two of them in yesterday's qualifications.
Jamie Mueller in lane 2 out in front. Diane Snyder of Darnek is second, and running third is Lisa Kelly of Town and Country.
Well, you watch Diane is so strong just in the length of the pool, but watch Jamie on her turn. She has a fast turn, so Diane's going to make it up this last 25 if she wants to beat Jamie.
Good turn by Jamie Mueller, a splash, and she's out in front. Diane Snyder in lane 4 trying to overcome that lead, and it could be close, but looks like Jamie's going to hold on.
Yeah, it looks like Jamie's got. I think Diane just didn't work her turns enough on that, Jerry.
So it's Jamie Mueller, Diane Snyder, and Lisa Kelly finishing 1, 2, 3 in the girls' high school 100-yard breaststroke. Moving on to event 44 as we pass the halfway mark of the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet. Event 44 is the boys' high school 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 1 will be Chad Staton of Splash. Lane 2, Jason Pickerel of Atlantis. Lane 3, Andrew Chung of Splash. Lane 4, Brad Schmid of Town and Country. Lane 5, Bobby Goebel of Town and Country. Lane 6, Bart Hubbs of Darnek. The meet record is 1:05.18 for this event, set by Tim Mullican of Town and Country in 1978. Another one of those older records. The quick time in the prelims, by far, Andrew Chung of Splash with a 1:05.489. Closest to him is 1:22.
And you know, Diane Snyder set a new record yesterday in qualification for the girls' 100-yard breast of 1:13.64. Well, Jamie Mueller came and beat it today at 1:12.29 seconds. She shaved a second and a quarter off that time.
It was a very fast swim.
And talk about a fast swim. Look at this young man, Andrew Chung, a splash, opening up a big lead at the halfway point.
Well, I was talking to some kids on the hill before the meet today, and Andrew is really out after this record. But it's really, really hard to go out after a record when you have no competition. Exactly. So we're going to have to see from final results if he gets this record today.
The clock is only competition, obviously, here as he opens up a big, big lead as we approach the final turn. It's Andrew Chung of splash and the boys high school 100-yard breaststroke. By far the quickest qualifier in the prelims yesterday with a 105.489. He's shooting for the 105.18. Came so close in the preliminaries, and he's going for it here.
Jerry, I think we're just going to have to wait to see for final results to see if he did get that record, but it looked like it was a fast swim.
Brad Schmid, an impressive win in the boys high school 100-yard breaststroke. Make that Andrew Chung of splash the impressive victory in the boys high school 100-yard breaststroke. Girls 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard fly coming up next, event number 45, and these youngsters include in lane 1 Christine Coy of Paddock, lane 2 Lori Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club, lane 3 Kelly Kern of Darnek, lane 4 Natalie Lindau of Darnek, lane 5 Jennifer Johnson of Town and Country, and lane 6 Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club.
And the little girls are getting ready to go. Of course, they start the other end of the pool and come down 25. Their coaches helping them out, shaking them down, rubbing them down, getting them psyched up for this 25-yard sprint as the young ones are back in. And these are the ones I really like, Jerry, and they're kind of fun to watch.
Oh, yes, they are. These are the little gals. Girls 7- and 8-year-olds going 25 yards in the butterfly. This is a tough stroke for these youngsters, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's the most difficult stroke to teach, and it's very, very difficult to perfect it and to be strong at it. So you got to give these little kids credit for working really hard and getting that butterfly down so they can compete in today's meet.
We'll be watching Christine Coy, Lori Ludwizak, Kelly Kern, Natalie Lindau, Jennifer Johnson, Beth Ludwizak, and the girls 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard butterfly. Tammy Price of Splash holds the record set last year, in fact, 17.704. The quick time in the prelims, 20.769. Kelly Kern of Darnek, she'll be in lane 3.
What about the stroke judge on the little ones here? Are they as astute on the little ones and watching for an infraction as they are in, say, the 13, 14s?
Well, the reason they have a stroke judge is to make sure that no one gets a particular advantage over someone else. So if the stroke judge on these little kids sees one foot slip apart just one time, because in butterfly you have to keep them together constantly. If he sees it slip one time, he's probably not going to say anything. But if he does constantly slipping it apart, that's going to give someone an advantage, and they will call it.
Okay, they don't add a second or two penalty. We're talking about total disqualification.
Total disqualification from the event. It looks like we got a good race
they're
here.
Right together. Slight lead maybe for Kelly Kern of Darnek, but she is being challenged now
by her teammate Natalie Lindo. That was a close one. I couldn't quite see who got that one.
Kelly Kern of Darnek may have been the winner, but we're going to have to wait and see and get the official results. Event number 46 is the boys 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard butterfly. In lane 1 will be Jake Sparks of Atlantis. Lane 2, Kyle Roby of Darnek. Lane 3, Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 4, Matt Abel of Darnek. Lane 5, Josh Murphy of Splash. And lane 6, Ricky Ebelhair of Town and Country. The record for this event, Matt Mulligan of Town and Country, 17.10, set in 1985. Quick time in the preliminaries, 20.492. Chris Harney, and that's about 3 seconds faster than any of the other qualifiers.
Well, Jerry, I think that record is supposed to be 1975 because Matt Mulligan's my age, and I don't think that he said it back there in 85. It's a misprint in the program, I do believe, but we just want to give credit where credit is due.
Okay, we'll say that, 1975. All righty, we're set to go. This is the youngsters, boys 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard fly.
6, Gilmore Chung, Splash. 5th was Kevin Hatton, Splash. 4th, Chad Mosinik, Darnek.
Boy, look at the serious look in the faces of these little guys.
I guarantee it. These little kids, they get more pumped up, I think, for these races than the older kids do. The older kids are like, oh, well, we're here, let's swim.
Can you remember back to your first race?
I remember, I didn't start swimming until I was 13 years old, but I remember I was serious about it. I wasn't that good, but it just takes practice and more practice for these little guys. And this is the time to start, is when they're young. So by the time they are 10 and 11 years old, they can contend for a city championship.
Can you spot exceptional talent at that age, 7- and 8-year-old?
Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. You know, if you see a kid that's got a dominating lead, that's beating kids by 5 and 6 seconds, sure, you know that he has some talent.
Or he might just be a bigger kid and stronger kid
right,
at that age.
That has a lot to do with it in a lot of instances.
Although style and technique would enter into it, you could spot that at any age.
Oh, no doubt.
They're in the water. We're going with the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard butterfly. We'll watch in lane 3, Chris Harney of Atlantis. He's out in front, but not by much. On each side, he's getting some real competition from Kyle Roby of Darnek and Matt Abel of Darnek. Who was there?
I think that Chris Harney got it on that one, and I think Matt Abel and Kyle Roby, 2nd and 3rd from Darnek. Excellent swim by all those boys.
Quickly, we have some official results. These are official. Girls 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard breaststroke. The winner, Courtney Sears of Darnek, 40.74. Boys 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard breaststroke. The winner, Joseph Boswell of Darnek, and 42.33. In the girls 11- and 12-year-old 50-yard breaststroke, the winner, Brooke Berry of Town and Country, 38.18. In the boys 11- and 12-year-old 50-yard breaststroke, Ryan Masenik of Darnek, the winner, 39.94. In the girls 13- and 14-year-old 100-yard breaststroke, Tanya Miller of Darnek, the winner, 119.92. And in the boys 13 and 14 100-yard breaststroke, the official winner, Chad Masenik of Darnek, 113.6. And we're ready to go with the girls 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard butterfly. In lane 1, Carrie Smith of Paddock. Lane 2, Courtney Sears of Darnek. Lane 3, Tammy Price of Splash. Lane 4, Lindsay Abel of Darnek. Lane 5, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 6, Sarah Potts of Atlantis. The quick time in the prelims, Tammy Price of Splash, 39.464. Laura Humphrey of Darnek holds the record of 33.150.
And that record from Laura Humphrey, she no longer lives in Owensboro, but I believe that she just made some senior national cuts, which is one or two steps below the Olympic team. So she is swimming fantastic up in Lexington. She's doing a great job. I wish Laura all the luck in the world.
Tammy Price, 39.464 in lane 3. The quick time in the preliminaries, but boy, there are 3 of them right there behind her at 40.7, 40.3, 40.9. We're talking about Courtney Sears in lane 2. She's from Darnek. Lane 4, Lindsay Abel of Darnek, and lane 5, Rocky Hatton of Splash.
It's going to be a close race.
And they are announcing some results right now, some of the earlier races. And we have to congratulate the officials here. They did have the problem with the timer. They got a late start, but they are zipping through this event. There's no wasted time at all.
No, sir. I think Coach Powell realized that we were going to run into a problem of darkness if we don't run this meet along, and he's doing a fantastic job of keeping the meet running along very smoothly.
You have to realize they had about 50 minutes to make up there, and they are doing a good job, and we'll have to wait and see. This is event number 47 of 86 events, so we do have a long way to go. Girls 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard butterfly, they're in the water. Boy, look at them.
They are neck and neck.
All 6 right there together.
It looks like that Rocky Hatton, Tammy Price of Splash does have a little bit of a lead right now.
That's Tammy Price of Splash in lane 3. And out in lane 1, Carrie Smith making a good move. But it appears that Tammy Price of Splash is going to splash her way to victory in the girls 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard butterfly. And
I believe Rocky Hatton snuck in there in second.
Rocky Hatton of Splash, a strong finish. And we'll move on to the boys 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard butterfly. The 6 qualifiers in lane 1, Eric Sears of Darnek. Lane 2, John Hess of Owensboro Country Club. In lane 3, Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 4, Joseph Boswell of Darnek. Lane 5, Ryan Montgomery of Atlantis. And lane 6, Nathan Waniger of Paddock. The quick time in yesterday's preliminaries, Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club, 35.544, almost 4 seconds quicker than the other entries. The record for this event, Ryan Masenik of Darnek in 1989.
It's like that Adam Augustine does have a pretty fast time. He's 4 seconds faster than the second qualifier, Joseph Boswell. But we'll have to see what happens here in 50 fly for 9-10 boys.
They're on the block, ready to go. This is boys 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard fly, the annual Owensboro City Swim Meet coming your way on Cable Channel 2. Beautiful afternoon and evening for competition here at the Darnek Pool. They're in the water, and in lane 3, Adam Augustine zips out in front early.
He's got a pretty good lead, but it looks like the battle right now is for second between Joseph Boswell.
But all of them, it looks like they're all right there together.
All up in there.
And a very, very impressive turn by Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club. He's going to romp home the winner. His closest challenger is there in lane 2, John Hess, teammate from the Owensboro Country Club. And then who knows for the third spot, 2 or 3 youngsters, 4 youngsters battling it out for third place. But Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club comes home the impressive winner in the boys' 9 and 10-year-old 50-yard butterfly. Moving on, event number 49 is the girls' 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard fly. In lane 1 will be Carly Cundiff of Atlantis. Lane 2, Ashley Reynolds of Town and Country. Lane 3, Brooke Berry of Town and Country. Lane 4, Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. Lane 5, Jane Hess of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 6, Tiffany Strong of Paddock. Quick time in the preliminaries, 35.077. Brooke Berry of Town and Country. The meet record, Tanya Ladan, and we see her participating as a timer down here in this event today. Tanya has the record, 27.830, and they're off.
I think this is going to be a really strong race in prelims. They're only 1/10 of a second between each other, so it's going to be a battle. Looks like Brooke Berry's taking a little bit of a lead.
Good start by Brooke.
But you know, not only Brooke Berry, you also see Ashley Reynolds in there, Andrea Ambrose. They're all 1, 2, and 3 in there. And look at this in lane number 1, Carly Cundiff coming up. And falling behind.
Smooth effort here by Brooke Berry of Town and Country, and a challenge in lane 4 by Andrea Ambrose.
Woo. Oh, that was too close to call. I've let the timing figure that one out.
It all
really,
depends
really
who saw what. Brooke Berry of Town and Country, Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis, right there. Bang, bang into the finish for the girls 11 and 12, 50-year-old, or 50-yard butterfly. 50-year-old.
That's you and I, Jerry.
Oh, we could enter that sucker. Girls 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard butterfly. Event number 50 is the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard butterfly. Starrett Mercer of Darnek will be in lane 1. In lane 2 is Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 3, Ryan Masenic of Darnek. Lane 4, Clay Purdom of Town and Country. Lane 5, Nicholas Waniger of Paddock. Lane 6, Eric Foster of Splash. The quick time in the prelims by far, Ryan Masenic of Darnek, 32.871. And the record in this event, Brian Keller of Darnek, set in 1985, 28.83.
Matt, let me ask you a question here real quick. I noticed in that last race, as they get set here, first of all, answer the question for those who may have watched. We saw a start, then they called him back. What happened?
Okay, what happened was the rule to a start is that all the swimmers must come down and be completely still before the horn goes off. Lane 4, Clay Purdom, was leaning and fell into the water, which made everybody else go in, so he false started and he has been disqualified.
From the race totally?
From the race. He gets 1 false start with the rules of the city championship. He gets 1 false start, and he had that, and he's out.
He gets no false starts, in other words.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, okay. He doesn't get any, so he was disqualified for the false start. In lane 3, it's Ryan Masenic of Darnek out in front, and a good turn, and he's going to romp home the winner. I think we can predict that.
Yes, he comes up. Let me ask you, I noticed on the last race and then again on this race, they seem to come down pretty well, and they're making that turn. Not necessarily when you talk about 50-yard sprint, does the person who makes that first turn win the race?
Not necessarily. It just depends on who gets the faster turn. Some people can hang on the wall for, you know, a half a second or so, but some people can get off the wall like that, and if they're in second, they get a good turn, and the person who's in first doesn't get a good turn. It could be anybody's race.
Ryan Masenic of Darnek, the winner of the boys' 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard freestyle. Event 51 is the girls' 13 and 14 100-yard fly. In lane 1 is Kathy Hargan of Splash. Lane 2, Heather Cabot of Town and Country. Lane 3, Jennifer Hargan of Splash. Lane 4, Leanne Presser of Town and Country. Lane 5, Tanya Miller of Darnek. And lane 6, Carrie Fulton of Atlantis. The record for this event held by Kim Walters of Darnek, set in 1984, 107.90, and the quick time close to that in yesterday's prelims, a good 108.988 by Jennifer Hargan.
So here we go with the 13, 14-year-old girls. Anything can happen, usually does, and we're ready to go.
They're ready to go with the girls' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard butterfly. Jennifer Hargan of Splash, the young lady to watch in lane 3. About 2 seconds quicker than any of the others in the preliminary. And they're about 4 abreast there as they head down to complete the first 25 yards.
You also need to watch Leanne Presser. She's an awful good butterflyer. I think it's going to be a close race between Jennifer and Leanne.
And here they come. We'll find out shortly.
Jennifer Hargan in lane 3 from Splash out in front, and Leanne Presser of Town & Country's right there. But it appears Jennifer Hargan will hold on and win it.
No, she comes back for one more turn.
Sorry, we're going 100, not 50.
Moved up in age group.
Here we go.
Boy, I tell you, it's hard to keep up with this, Jerry. We have so much to see. It's like 5.5, 6, and at 6 furlongs, 5.5 furlongs, a full 7.
And she's opened up an impressive lead, a good turn, and now I will say it if I can, that it appears Jennifer Hargan of Splash will splash home the easy winner here in the girls' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard butterfly. Watch Jennifer go.
No, Jerry, this is a full mile race.
And you're watching the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet on cable channel 2.
Kids Stop is not just clothing anymore. Now, just in time for back to school, Kids Stop in Town Square North has just completed their expansion and remodeling and are announcing their newest addition with the grand opening of their new shoe department. Come in and choose from a full line of high-quality shoes from BabyBot and Stride Right. All shoes come in many widths and sizes to provide the comfort and natural fit growing feet need. It's the look kids want and the quality moms know and love. Kids Stop in Town Square North.
In just 6 days, your backyard could look like this. Home Pool doesn't just put in the pool. They make it look right in your yard with complete landscaping consultation. They're not a part-time company. Home Pools work year-round on decks, patios, and, of course, pools. And with 19 years of experience, you'll be quite satisfied with the job done for years after the one-year guarantee. Estimates are free. It's the first step toward fulfilling your backyard dreams and filling your own pool with water. Call or visit Jim Pfister, the pool man, at Home Pool, 1200 Burlew Boulevard.
Back at the Darnek Swim Club, Jerry Burge along with Matt Roots and Joe Lowe. It's the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet, and we moved on to event number 52. The boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard butterfly. In lane 1 will be Kevin Hatton of Splash. Lane 2, Gilmore Chung of Splash. Lane 3, Chad Masenik of Darnek. Lane 4, Stephen Delaney of Paddock. Lane 5, Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. And lane 6, Robbie Lyons of Town & Country. Brian Keller of Darnek holds the record in this event, 59.60, set in 1987. Chad Masenik of Darnek had the quick time in yesterday's prelims, 110.689.
And as they get set to go in the water, Jerry, we had another record set in the girls' 1,400-yard fly. Jennifer Hargan broke that record that stood since 1984 with a time of 1:05.67 seconds. She beat it by a full 2 seconds.
As we approach the halfway mark of the 100-yard butterfly for boys 13 and 14-year-old, it's Chad Masenik of Darnek, the man to beat in lane 3. Out in lane 5, Jeremiah Johnson with a strong effort so far.
As they come on for the second 50, this is where really, especially in butterfly, this is where your training comes through. If you have had a good training all summer long in butterfly, you should pull it out. And if not, you might just fall a little bit behind.
Chad Masenik.
Everybody's still giving a great effort.
And it's still Chad Masenik followed by Jeremiah Johnson, but a comfortable lead for Chad Masenik of Darnek as he heads toward the finish of the boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard butterfly. Strong effort. A real battle for second between Jeremiah Johnson and Stephen Delaney. And it may have been Johnson in there in second and Delaney third. So the winner, Chad Masenik of Darnek in the boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard butterfly. Event 53 is the girls high school 100-yard fly. In lane 1 will be Julie Worth of Town & Country. Lane 2, Kate Hess of Atlantis. Lane 3, Jamie Mueller of Splash. Lane 4, Diane Snyder of Darnek. Lane 5, Lisa Kelly of Town & Country. And lane 6, Dee Dee Embry of Town & Country. Tanya Ladan, the meet record, 104.17. Set for Darnek in 1988. The quick time yesterday, 107.706. Who else? Jamie Mueller of Splash.
Well, as you can see, Jamie's really only a 13, 14-year-old. She should be swimming in that age group, but for her coach's decision, which is her mom also, they decided to swim her up in the open age group since Jennifer Hargan's so strong also. They're really stacking that age group.
She's been swimming up almost all her career, hasn't she?
Exactly. 2 years ago when she swam for Darnek, she swam up to a 13, 14 from 11, 12. She's an outstanding swimmer.
Jamie Mueller, a splash, makes the turn, and she's opening up a lead in the early going in the girls' high school 100-yard butterfly. She's strong in this event.
Yeah, I think butterfly is one of her better events.
Boy, I tell you what, we were very, very fortunate today, and we haven't had an opportunity to say this, Matt, but we're fortunate to have Matt Roots with us. Matt, who coached Darnek for, what, three consecutive years, was with the team forever as assistant coach, and we're glad you consented to be with us today, and really had a lot to do with the broadcast, enabling us to have some insight that in the past we haven't had here.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate the honor of coming out here. I was really excited when they said something about it, and I really appreciate the chance to come out here and help.
Mark us down in your calendar for next year to be back and join us again, okay?
Okay.
Now, look at this win. Look at Jamie go. Jamie Mueller of Splash and home winner in the girls' high school 100-yard butterfly. In second, it looks like in lane 5, Lisa Kelly.
And third is a battle. It's going to be close for third also.
Jamie could have been up and out of the pool before the other kids hit.
Jamie Mueller of Splash, the winner in the girls' high school 100-yard butterfly. And now the boys' high school 100-yard fly. 5 entries in this event. In lane 1, Chad Staton of Splash. Lane 2, Jason Pickrell of Atlantis. Lane 3, Andrew Chung of Splash. Lane 4, Brad Schmid of Town & Country. Lane 5, Bobby Goebel of Town & Country. Jay Eckelberry of Darnek has the record 54.179. Quick time in yesterday's preliminaries. Andrew Chung of Splash with a 104.989, and we may have had another record there. The
I think I'm just about to see another record here. Lawsy, we did see another record here. Let's see. Yesterday's time for Jamie was 107.706. Tanya's record was 104.17. The record just fell to Jamie Mueller with a time of 102.82.
Hats off to Jamie. We're in the boys' high school 100-yard fly, and we'll watch Andrew Chung of Splash in lane 3, holding off a challenge from Brad Schmid of Town & Country in lane 4 as they reach the halfway point.
Well, it's like, if you notice, Jerry, there's only 5 people in this event. Only 5 lanes were filled. A lot of the people that swim for different teams do not like to swim butterfly since it is such a difficult event. So I think that's why we only have 5 people swimming in this event today in the high school boys.
And it's a 2-horse race at this stage. Andrew Chung of Splash and Brad Schmid of Town & Country. And Andrew is really opening up a lead.
I'm not sure what that was. We had somebody behind us giving birth or cheering for one of the swimmers. I don't know what.
Somebody was shot.
Cheering for Andrew Chung. These parents get into this meet a whole lot, I guarantee it.
Strong effort by Andrew Chung of Splash as he romps home winner of the boys' high school 100-yard butterfly. That was event 54 of a scheduled 86 events in the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet, coming your way on cable channel 2 from the Darnek Swim Club. Event 55 is a girls 7 and 8-year-old 50-yard freestyle. The 6 qualifiers are in lane 1, Christine Coy of Paddock. Lane 2, Natalie Lindo of Darnek. Lane 3, Mia Masenik of Darnek. Lane 4, Kelly Kern of Darnek. Lane 5, Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club. And lane 6, Lori Ludwizak of the Owensboro Country Club. Tammy Price of Splash holds the record in this event. The girls 7 and 8-year-old 50-yard free. It was 35.401 set in 1989. Quick time in the prelims, and look how close they were in the preliminaries. Mia Masenik of Darnek 39.403. Kelly Kern of Darnek 39.563. That's just a breath right there.
How long have some of these little kids, we have 7 and 8s here, how long have they been swimming, Matt?
Well, usually they start around by the time they're 5 years old. Then when they start swimming, we get them out of swim lessons. A lot of the teams get them out of swim lessons, and then they bring them into the swim team and they teach them their strokes. They teach them freestyle first, and they compete in the tot category, and then hopefully they'll be interested in it, stick with it, and hopefully work up their way through the age group ranks.
So by the time they're 7 or 8, they could conceivably have 3 to 4 years of swimming under their belt.
Exactly. I remember Holly Sears, a little tot from Darnek, started swimming when she was 3 years old.
I remember that. I remember her first time in the water.
And
she was scared.
Mia Masenik of Darnek in lane 3 has plenty of competition at the halfway mark, or as we approach the halfway mark.
I see Jay Echoberry over there whistling on all the kids. Whenever you have 3 kids like that going seated 1, 2, and 4, I believe.
Natalie Lindo of Darnek in lane 2 is out in front.
That whenever he wants them to go 1, 2, 3, because that's an awful lot of points when you sweep it like that, a 1, 2, 3, and it kind of shuts out the other team. But here comes.
He's having a little trouble there in lane number 5. Look at this.
Beth Ledwazak. Ooh,
I don't know.
Either
that was
2 or
close.
5. Natalie Lindo of Darnek in lane 2, and in lane 5, Beth Ledwazak of Owensboro Country Club, and we'll have to wait to get the official results. Speaking of official results, in the girls' high school 100-yard breaststroke, Jamie Mueller, the winner with a record 112.27 for splash. In the boys' high school 100-yard breaststroke, Andrew Chung, a splash, a winner in 109.01. These are official results. In the girls' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard fly, Kelly Kern of Darnek, the winner in 20.34. In the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 25-yard fly, the official winner, Chris Harney of Atlantis, with a 20.81. In the girls' 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard fly, the winner was Tammy Price of Splash in a 37.22. And in the boys' 9- and 10-year-old 50-yard fly, the winner was Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club with a 33.97. Those results are official.
Is that official or official?
Official.
Kentucky's is official, I think. What you got, Matt?
We got to give Jerry a round of applause for doing those results. He whips them out awful fast.
We don't have much time. We're complimenting the officials here as they go from event to event, and I hope, I'm sure if you're trying to write them down, you can't do it, but that's the only way we can slip them in between races. We're ready to go again. Boys, 7- and 8-year-old 50-yard free.
Very, very tough on these young men when you start doing 50 yards on the 7-8ers.
The field includes in lane 1, Jake Sparks of Atlantis, lane 2, Matt Abel of Darnek, lane 3, Chris Harney of Atlantis, lane 4, Kyle Roby of Darnek, lane 5, Will Augustus of Darnek, and lane 6, Jordan Maddox of Darnek. The boys' 7- and 8-year-old 50-yard free, Doug Sorg of Paddock set the record in this event in 1985, 34.52. Quick time in the prelims, and boy, they were close. Chris Harney of Atlantis has the narrow edge with 42.431.
Jerry, you know, I just looked at the clock. You and I are working already on a 13-hour day today.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, with that time and a half they pay us.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'll start.
Who was it? And we'll get the ruling on it in a moment.
Call
Bad
the
start.
kids back, and Coach Powell will excuse one of these fellas if they left early.
And we'll have to wait and see. They're all kind of looking back.
I believe it was
saying,
lane number 3, 2 or 3.
And whoever did it kind of knows they did.
Lane 2.
Well, no, they're signaling 2, and it's in lane 5, I believe.
Or lane 5, I'm sorry.
Well, Coach said 2, yeah.
Will Augustus of Darnek kind of looks back and says, "Oh, rats."
Took off a little early, trying to get a jump on everybody.
And that's tough. That is
Take
tough.
him back and buy him an ice cream cone. He'll be happy.
It's hard, especially on these little kids. It's really hard to get disqualified from a race. They are torn up, and sometimes it could upset them for the rest of the day, so it could hurt their performance, but they've got to go by the rules.
Even the big guys do that.
That's what goes with a little bit of maturity, and you were talking about that earlier as to what swimming can do, and boy, that's the toughest lesson in the world, but we've all had it at one time or another. And look at these young men go, 1, 2, and 3, and look at this in lane number 6. He's really struggling, but he's going to have to go some to beat that lane number 4, and who do we have in lane number 4?
Kyle Roby of Darnek challenging Chris Harney of Atlantis. Here they come.
Boy.
3 abreast.
Here comes lane 2, Matt Abel. He's getting up in there too, so looks like Kyle Roby's starting to pull it out. Lane 4 for Darnek.
Strong effort in the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 50-yard freestyle. Kyle Roby of Darnek coming in the winner, finishing second. Chris Harney of Atlantis. Matt Abel of Darnek will finish third. Good effort there by Kyle Roby of Darnek, the winner of the boys' 7- and 8-year-old 50-yard freestyle. And we'll move on to event 57, the girls' 9- and 10-year-old 100-yard free. In lane 1, Sarah Potts of Atlantis. Lane 2, Carrie Beth Elliott of Darnek. Lane 3, Courtney Sears of Darnek. Lane 4, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 5, Tammy Price of Splash. And lane 6, Lindsay Abel of Darnek. Quick time in the prelims, 1:14.545. Courtney Sears of Darnek. The record in this event for this meet, Chrissy Geyer of Darnek set in 1986, 105.70. Girls 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard freestyle.
I don't know if we can get a hold or get a shot of across the way there, but we have one of the folks with Splash. She's got a Splash shirt on, she's got a Splash hat on, and she's got a megaphone, Jerry. I think she is pumped up.
I think she's their biggest supporter.
We're ready to go with the girls 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard free. They're in the water.
Okay, now, Jerry, this is 4 lengths of the pool freestyle. So these 9-10s are swimming 50 yards of all the other strokes, but in the 100 free is their longest event besides the IM, which is the next event after this one.
Good turn, very good turn by Courtney Sears of Darnek in lane 3.
Yeah, but she's just not even halfway done. And look at this, right on her tail there, you have lane number 4 and lane number 3.
In 4 is Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 2, Carrie Beth Elliott of Darnek. And opening up the lead now again is Courtney Sears of Darnek in lane 3.
So Rocky Hatton's pulling up on her. Courtney's going to have to turn it on right here if she wants to pull this race out.
Look, Carrie Beth Elliott, I remember her. She's another one that's been swimming for a long time, Matt.
She's been here forever, I believe.
I think she was born here, I'm not sure.
Something like that, I'm not really sure.
Big edge on the turn by Courtney Sears.
Carrie Beth trying to turn it on. I think we're going to see this in a 1-2-3 finish.
And it looks like Courtney Sears is going to pull away to a win for Darnek here in the 100 freestyle.
Courtney Sears, Rocky Hatton of Splash will finish second, and finishing third in lane 2 is Carrie Beth Elliott of Darnek.
So you got a 1 for Darnek, a 2 for Splash, 3 for Darnek. The points again, Matt, how does this come down?
I believe it's 7 for first, 5 for second, 4 for third, 3 for fourth, 2 for fifth, and 1 for sixth. So everybody who's swimming scores a point for their team.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Exactly.
Boys 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard freestyle, our next event. In lane 1, Kevin Kern of Darnek. Lane 2, Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Eric Sears of Darnek. Lane 4, Joseph Boswell of Darnek. Lane 5, Nathan Waniger of Paddock. And lane 6, John Hess of the Owensboro Country Club. Quick time in the prelims, and boy, they were close. Eric Sears of Darnek, 1:14.6. Joseph Boswell of Darnek, 1:14.97. Take it away.
Okay.
Already.
In lane 2, it looks like we've got Adam Augustine taking off to an early lead. But lane 4, Joseph Boswell's right up there with him. Remember, this is 100. This is 4 lengths of the pool, so this is where you get your training. It really shows through in a race like this.
Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club out in front, and right behind him in lane 3 is Eric Sears of Darnek. And right behind him is Joseph Boswell of Darnek.
Okay, when a young man has a lead like he has right there, Matt, is it possible for the others to come back and beat him?
Sure, it's possible. We don't know how fast he took his race out. If he took out that first 50 yards, if he took it out as fast as he could go, he could die in the last 50. So it just depends on how these kids pace themselves in their race to see who's going to win the event.
He looked pretty strong.
Yeah, Augustine has to turn long before everybody else. And coming in, here comes Eric Sears. I don't know if he can turn on the power or not on this one. He really is going to have to flat move, but it looks like Adam Augustine's going to run off with it.
Joseph Boswell may catch his teammate here for second. It's a battle for second.
I think he does.
That was a blanket finish. Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club, the winner of the boys 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard freestyle. And you're watching the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet coming your way from the Darnek Swim Club on Cable Channel 2.
The Splash Swim Club, Owensboro's exciting new swim club, is now open off Highway 54 on Ralph Avenue. The pool at the Splash Swim Club is AAU regulation size, and there are lap lanes for lap swimming. Splash Swim Club offers you a 13-foot diving well for competition practice or for fun. They also have an intermediate pool so you can polish your swimming techniques. Certified lifeguards also teach swimming there. Your youngsters and toddlers will enjoy playing in the Mickey Mouse wading pool. Plus, the entire family can enjoy the game room, concession stand, and clubhouse. There's a limited number of family memberships still available, but hurry, they're going fast.
54 Pizza Express pizza. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
I love thee in all 8, 12, 16, and 20-inch sizes.
I love thee with onion, green pepper, pepperoni, ham, mushrooms, black olive sausage, and extra cheese.
I love your homemade crust, thick, thin, and original.
I love eating my 54 Pizza Express pizza there.
I love phoning in my order and having my pizza delivered.
I even love phoning in and picking up my order.
And I love your sandwiches, too.
54 Pizza Express, home of the luscious top-heavy pizza and fantastic sandwiches. Their food is pure poetry.
For super savings and rebates, visit Ward's Trend House. Ward's Trend House is having a factory-authorized lane recliner rebate sale. The rebates are spectacular. Get $60 back on these select lane recliners with first-time factory-authorized rebates. Or get a $50 rebate on the Lane Renegade. Whichever lane recliner you choose, you are sure to get a super deal with a super rebate. This rebate sale is now through Saturday only at Ward's Trend House, 405 East 14th Street, Owensboro.
Event number 59 of our 86 events in the Owensboro City Swim Meet is the girls 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1 will be Tiffany Strong of Paddock. Lane 2, Jane Hess of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 3, Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. Lane 4, Brooke Berry of Town and Country. Lane 5, Carly Cundiff of Atlantis. And lane 6, Carrie Law of Town and Country. The fast time in yesterday's preliminaries turned in by Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis, 106.919. Jamie Mueller of Splash holds the meet record, 58.849, set in 1989.
Well, I guarantee you have to look for Brooke Berry in that silly-looking cap of hers today, but I think it's been bringing her good luck. A lot of these kids don't qualify. They qualify in different heats, so one kid may swim faster in heat 1 in qualifications than the second kid might swim a little slower, but they're seated before them, so
they may have had more competition. If you have a two-way battle in a particular heat, would produce a quicker time.
Exactly.
Obviously.
That's exactly right. So you never know. It looks like Brooke Berry is starting to take a lead here after the first 50 in lane 4 for Town and Country.
And Brooke Berry moving out in front in lane 4. Closest challenger in lane 3 is Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. So it'll be Berry and Ambrose as they make the final turn and head for home in the girls 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard freestyle. And they're close.
Looks like Andrea Ambrose is trying to make a move on Brooke, but Brooke keeps fighting her.
And Brooke Berry of Town and Country trying to hold on, and she does, to win the girls 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard freestyle. Next event will be the boys 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard freestyle, event number 60. The 6 qualifiers include in lane 1, Eric Foster of Splash. Lane 2, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 3, Ryan Masenik of Darnek. Lane 4, Clay Purdom of Town and Country. Lane 5, Starrett Mercer of Darnek. And lane 6, John Hayden of Splash. The fastest qualifier was Ryan Masenik of Darnek with a 103.398. And that's about 2 seconds faster than his closest challenger. Brian Keller of Darnek set the meet record in this event in 1985 with a time of 57.89. This is the boys 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard freestyle. 100-yard free, boys 11 and 12, Ryan Masenik of Darnek in lane 3, the man to beat.
Looks like Ryan got a little bit of a slow start, so he's going to have to make up some here in the first 25.
In lane 4 out in front because of that bad start by Ryan Masenik, Clay Purdom of Town and Country holds the early lead, and very quickly Ryan's coming back.
Got a good turn on that first turn, and he used it to his advantage as he's pulling ahead of Clay Purdom just by a little bit, though.
Good recovery by Ryan Masenik after the bad start. As they reach the halfway point, he's regained the lead, or grabbed the lead actually for the first time, and it looks like he's starting to pull away a bit.
Yeah, if Clay's going to pull this race out, he's going to have to turn it on right now. But it looks like Ryan's a strong freestyle swimmer, and I think he may just take this race away from Clay.
Ryan Masenik of Darnek opening up a big lead as he nears the finish of the boys 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard freestyle. In second is Clay Purdom of Town and Country. And the winner is Ryan Masenik of Darnek in the boys 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard freestyle.
Okay, we might as well start warning everybody right now. There are no lights here at Darnek. It is starting right now to get a little bit dark.
We've got about an hour to go through 25 events. Can we do it, Matt?
Well, the IMs are longer because each age group swims 100 yards, and then the open swim 200 yards. So they're going to have to hustle it through here to get it in. And then after the IMs, you have relays, and then the 500-yard freestyle.
In a word, no.
So you have to bear with us. The best we can do is wrap it up, give you the results when we do have the telecast. Of course, this is being tape delayed, so we can pretty well dress this sucker up before we present the final package. Event 61 is the girls' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1 is Mandy Keller of Splash. Lane 2, Heather Cabot of Town & Country. Lane 3, Leanne Presser of Town & Country. Lane 4, Jennifer Hargan of Splash. Lane 5, Tanya Miller of Darnek. Lane 6 is Elizabeth Stanley of Owensboro Country Club. Quick time in the preliminaries, and look at these two. They're the ones to watch. Leanne Presser of Town & Country, 101.702. Jennifer Hargan of Splash, 101.822. Kim Walters of Darnek holds the record set way back in '84, 59.180. And this could be a two-way battle here based on those times in the prelims between Presser and Hargan.
Yeah, they're only a tenth of a second apart, Jerry, so it should be a really, really close battle between Jennifer and Leanne.
100-yard freestyle. These are 13 and 14-year-old girls. And they're right there together. And right there with them in lane 2 is Heather Cabot of Town & Country. But now they start pulling away, but they are head-to-head.
They are head-to-head. I think this is one of Leanne's better events is 100 freestyle. Jennifer's more of a 50 freestyler, more sprinter. So, but 100 to her could be a sprint also. So we'll have to see after this next turn, see who's going to win it.
They are side by side making the final turn. A real battle between Leanne Presser and Jennifer Hargan in lanes 3 and 4. And right now it looks like Presser may have a slight edge, but here comes Hargan.
Here comes Jennifer.
I can't call it.
I don't know. That was too close to call.
I don't know, guys.
As they say in horse racing, it's a photo finish. Hold your mutual tickets, folks. Boy, a dead finish, a dead heat almost. Heather Cabot or Jennifer Hargan and Leanne Presser. Leanne Presser and Jennifer Hargan right into the finish together. We'll have to await the official results on that one. Boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard freestyle. The qualifiers include in lane 1, Ryan Goltry of Town & Country. Lane 2, Kevin Hatton of Splash. Lane 3, Chad Masenik of Darnek. Lane 4, Robbie Lyons of Town & Country. Lane 5, Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. And lane 6, Greg Price of Splash. The quick time in the prelims, 1 minute .60. Chad Masenik of Darnek. The meet record is Brian Keller of Darnek, 52.52, set in 1987. This is the boys, 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard freestyle.
And here we go. Up in the water, there they are. I missed my last call, so I want to make sure this was a good one.
Boy, they're right side by side as they head down the first 25 yards.
Looks like they're taking it out really fast. They all make the turn pretty much all together.
In lane 1, Ryan Goltry was the first to make the turn from Town & Country. He has a slight edge, but now he gives way to Chad Masenik in lane 3. And in lane 4 and 5, Robbie Lyons and Jeremiah Johnson are right there.
As they come off that second turn, it's still really close.
Boy, look at that.
A slight edge maybe for Chad Masenik as he will make the final turn, but he has plenty of company up front.
This is what it's all about. This is the best part of it, is whenever you get into a race like this and you just have great competition and it's just a battle to the end. This is what it's all about.
And here they come. A strong effort in lane 4 by Robbie Lyons trying to catch Masenik. And he's right there with him. It's Masenik and Lyons, and that's the way they finish, Masenik and Lyons.
That's a close race.
You know, I do want to let the people, I just noticed this watching our monitor now that we can see it, the sun's gone down a little bit. We have two camera angles, both from different sides of the pool. So as they start off, you're seeing them from one camera angle, and as you come down halfway the pool, you're seeing the other way. They're not doing a flip-flop. We're not making the call wrong. We're seeing everything. So what you're seeing basically is first time lane 6 down to lane 1, then coming back lane 1 to lane 6, and they do a flip-flop on you again. So don't get dizzy. Don't think we're out of our minds. You're just seeing it from 2 different camera angles, and that could be what's misleading to you just a little bit.
Event 63 is a girls' high school 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1's Melissa Wink of Atlantis. Lane 2, Lisa Kelly of Town and Country. Lane 3, Jamie Mueller of Splash. Lane 4, Diane Snyder of Darnek. Lane 5, Dee Dee Embry of Town and Country. Lane 6, Kate Hess of Atlantis.
As they hit the water, and look at this, Jerry. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row coming down the pike.
Jamie Mueller jumping out now at the first turn, and she grabs a big advantage with a beautiful turn.
Yeah, this is probably her. This is her event right here, 100 freestyle. She is so fast. Her stroke is so strong going through the water.
Jamie Mueller at the halfway mark, comfortably out in front.
You know, Jerry, I look down at these girls swimming, and in lane 6, I see a girl with a Stars cap on. I don't know if they can tell by the camera, but one of my good friends in Florida, she used to swim with him, and it was just, I thought it was really particular that I picked that out just now. I thought it was really weird that she's now back in Owensboro when she's swimming in Orlando, Florida, not three weeks ago.
Jamie Mueller of Splash continues to rack up the wins. Very, very impressive victory by Jamie.
She's going to be pushing a record on this, too.
Jamie Mueller, winner of the girls' high school 100-yard freestyle, and we'll move on to the boys' high school 100-yard free. And lane 1 will be Bart Hubbs of Darnek. Lane 2, Bobby Goebel of Town and Country. Lane 3, Brad Schmid of Town and Country. Lane 4, Andrew Chung of Splash. Lane 5, Jason Pickrell of Atlantis. And lane 6, Chad Staton of Splash. Boys high school 100-yard free. The quick time in the prelims, 1:484. Brad Schmid of Town and Country. Jay Eckelberry of Darnek holds the meet record in this event, 49.337. And we may have another record here.
I believe we did on that last one. I believe Jamie just sort of pulled it out on that last one.
Strong job by Jamie. Another record, another win for the young lady for Splash.
100-yard freestyle. Quiet to start, please. This is 4 lengths the pool timer. Step up.
Here we go with the boys high school 100-yard free. Jay Eckelberry holds the record. The quick time in the prelims, Brad Schmid of Town and Country. And they're off.
Okay, oh my gosh, Jerry. Look at this. You talked about Jamie smashing the record. The record was 58.82. Her time yesterday, 1:01. She did it with a time of 55.71 seconds, a new city record in the girls' high school 100-yard free. The name of Dan rather gets knocked out again and replaced by Mueller.
Well, that record will stand for a while.
I guarantee it. That's the reason why we keep records, though, so your name will go down in history.
Well, Tanya's been on there a long time, buddy.
I think one of the oldest records is one of Darnek's coach, Jody Biggs. I think she still has the 6 and under 25 freestyle record.
Andrew Chung of Splash opening up the lead here as we near the finish of the boys high school 100-yard free. That's Chung in lane 4, Brad Schmid of Town and Country in lane 2, running second, and Bobby Goebel of Town and Country in lane 3. And Andrew Chung of Splash comes home the winner of the boys high school 100-yard freestyle. We have some official results to give you. In the girls 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard fly, the official winner was Brooke Berry of Town and Country with a 34.01. In the boys 11 and 12-year-old 50-yard fly, the winner was Ryan Masenik of Darnek with a 31.65. In the girls 13 and 14 100-yard fly, the official winner, Jennifer Hargan of Splash with a 105.60. In the boys 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard fly, the winner was Chad Masenik of Darnek with a time of 109.97. In the girls high school 100-yard fly, the winner, Jamie Mueller of Splash with a 102.91. That is a meet record, 102.91. And the boys high school 100-yard fly was won by Andrew Chung of Splash with a 102.56. And Andrew Chung just won the boys high school 100-yard free. And we're ready with the girls 7 and 8-year-old 100-yard individual medley. It'll be Lori Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club in lane 1, Beth Ludwizak of Owensboro Country Club in lane 2, and lane 3, Kelly Kern of Darnek, lane 4, Natalie Lindo of Darnek, lane 5, Mia Masenik of Darnek, and lane 6, Jennifer Johnson of Town and Country. Quick time in the prelims, Kelly Kern of Darnek, 1:43.822, and Jamie Mueller holds the record in this event, set in 1985, 1:30.14. Matt?
Okay, what an IM is called an individual medley, and what that is one length of each of the strokes. The first length is butterfly, followed by backstroke, breaststroke, and then finishing up with freestyle.
Well, that's a real challenge for a 7- and 8-year-old, right?
I guarantee it is. It's a really, really tough race. This is the hardest race for these little kids to go through. And once again, like I say, it's where your training's at is how you're going to finish.
And this could be an event where a swimmer is not necessarily the strongest in any of the four and cannot win, but is just a step behind maybe in each event, but strong in all four and can win the IM.
Exactly. You got to use your best stroke to your advantage, because you got to get a lead, because if your worst stroke comes along, you may fall behind, so you have to get an advantage on your best stroke.
Ooh, Kelly Kern on the backstroke banged into the wall, and it didn't seem to phase her any. She was a little surprised. I think she got there that quick.
I think she's too concentrating on her race right now.
So she's into the third leg. Kelly Kern of Darnek out in front, but a challenger in lane 2 from Beth Ludwizak. And boy, there it looks like Beth has taken the lead.
Here comes Natalie Lindo in lane 4. She's starting to creep up there a little bit on Kelly Kern. But this is going to be a fight to the finish on freestyle. Whoever has the fastest freestyle, I think, is going to win this race.
And it's between Beth Ludwizak in lane 2 out in front, and here comes Kelly Kern coming right back in lane 3, and she's regained the lead as she heads for home. A strong finish in the free by Kelly Kern of Darnek, who's going to win the girls 7- and 8-year-old 100-yard IM. Congratulations, Kelly. Strong finish here.
Yeah, I think she had a little problem in her breaststroke, but she came back on that freestyle strong to win the race. And that's what it's all about.
The next event will be the boys 7- and 8-year-old 100-yard IM. The 6 qualifiers include in lane 1, Ricky Ebelhair of Town and Country. Lane 2, Jake Sparks of Atlantis. Lane 3, Chris Harney of Atlantis. Lane 4, Kyle Roby of Darnek. Lane 5, Matt Abel of Darnek. And lane 6, Alex Skype of Town and Country. The fastest time by 12 seconds in the prelims, Chris Harney of Atlantis, 142.965. Closest to him is Kyle Roby of Darnek at 154.929. Chad Embry of Town and Country holds the meet record set way back in 1979, 131.83. Chris Harney, the favorite here in the boys 7- and 8-year-old 100-yard IM.
Well, with his time from qualifications yesterday, he should have no problem with this. But like I said before, you never know what these kids are going to do.
These are the youngsters, 7- and 8-year-old boys, 7- and 8-year-olds, 100-yard IM. They're in the water.
Okay, Jerry, here's what we're going to attempt to do. we realize we're losing light, and of course we started about an hour later. We're going to have to take another look at this when we get through with all the free relay or the frees and see what's going to happen here, because really and truly we don't want to try to show something that's not quality, and we can always tag the end onto this because we want people to know, and we want everybody to be able to see, and unfortunately we have no lights. It's not a matter of not having enough. We have no lights down here right now.
The 500s are the last event, so they may be swimming them in the dark this evening.
In lane 3 is Chris Harney of Atlantis out in front. Running second is Kyle Roby of Darnek. Makes the turn and trying to hold on. Boy, he's got a long way to go.
Halfway over. Kyle Roby's keeping up really well in the qualifications. He was ahead by 7 seconds, and Kyle Roby's hanging with him really tough, so he's digging down there and going for it.
That's Chris Harney of Atlantis in lane 3 out in front. Running second is Kyle Roby of Darnek. Right now running third in lane 5 is Matt Abel, also of Darnek. And making the turn for home in lane 3 is Chris Harney. And can the youngster hold on? He's got to be getting tired.
Man. They have to do all the strokes. And again, at this age, to master all those strokes is very, very tough. And then try to do it competitively is just really something for these young men.
It's Harney and
You
Roby.
can tell they're really tired. If Kyle turns it on, he might be able to pull this out. They're awful tired kids, I guarantee it.
Trying to reach down for that something extra, and Chris Harney holds on from Atlantis to win it. The boys 7- and 8-year-old 100-yard individual medley. And these youngsters way back, look at the competition there among all of them, and they never give up.
It looks like we got to fight for third place.
Oh. That's where that extra dose of Gatorade comes handy.
Exactly. I think third place went to Jake Sparks from Atlantis.
Girls 9- and 10-year-old 100-yard IM is up next. The 6 qualifiers include in lane 1, Lindsay Abel of Darnek. Lane 2, Courtney Sears of Darnek. Lane 3, Rocky Hatton of Splash. Lane 4, Tammy Price of Splash. Lane 5, Sarah Potts of Atlantis. And lane 6, Carrie Beth Elliott of Darnek. Quick time in the qualifications, 1:27.673 by Rocky Hatton of Splash. Chrissy Geyer of Darnek holds the record, 1:13.49, set in 1986. So Rocky Hatton is the young lady to beat in the girls' 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard IM, and they're ready to go. And they're all 6 right together at the start.
They're really close. They're really close. Looks like lane 4, just Tammy Price might have a slight lead right now.
Oh.
Boy, they are still together. This is the girls' 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard IM.
And it looks like lane 4, Tammy Price from Splash is starting to take a little bit of a lead here. Followed by her teammate Rocky Hatton from Splash also.
Tammy Price is in lane 4. Makes the turn, and right there with her in lane 3 is Rocky Hatton. They're teammates, and Hatton has grabbed the lead. Good turn.
Here comes Courtney Sears in lane 2 for Darnek. She's trying to fight off Rocky in lane 3.
And it looks like she's done it.
Tammy Price is tired considerably on this leg.
Obviously not as much the angle I'm looking at, obviously.
Courtney Sears has moved into second place. And Rocky Hatton of Splash trying to hold on.
She does a fine job of it, too. She has a lot left. Look at that. She seems to be getting faster as she goes down towards the end. Jerry, that's phenomenal for a young lady of her age. In the 9-10s, to really be turning it on after 100 yards, that's something else.
Well, I think that there's a weak, that was Tammy Price's breaststroke was her weak link in that IM, because she's not a good breaststroker by any means, because I know her family personally, and Tammy's always had a hard time with breaststroke, but she turned it on that freestyle to finish very well.
Rocky Hatton of Splash, the winner of the girls' 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard IM. Event number 68 is the boys' 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard IM. The 6 qualifiers include in lane 1, Ryan Montgomery of Atlantis. Lane 2, Eric Sears of Darnek. Lane 3, Joseph Boswell of Darnek. Lane 4, Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club. Lane 5, Nathan Waniger of Paddock. And lane 6, Bill Hess of the Owensboro Country Club. Quick time was 1:22.978. Joseph Boswell of Darnek. Meet record held by Brian Keller of Darnek, set in 1983, 1:17.21. We're ready to go. Boys 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard IM. Woo!
He just wanted to get wet.
No false start.
You know, the one thing that we want to mention here, again, a big salute to the Darnek Club, Town and Country, Paddock, Atlantis, the Owensboro Country Club, and Splash. All just very, very fine folks in putting a thing like this on together. A lot of cooperation. The parents work very hard. The coaches work very hard. It's all for the kids, and the kids really answer the call on something like this. They're really performing today.
Look at Adam Augustine zip out in front in lane 4.
He's getting a good lead on his backstroke.
Many of them were here all day long yesterday for the initial round. Then they came back today. Many of them got here at 2:30, 3 o'clock. They had their warm-ups, had an hour delay before they started. And here they are, 7:30 at night, 7:15 at night, still swimming, and they've got a heck of a lot to go.
Oh, yeah, and it's got to be tiring on these kids, you know. Staying out here all day yesterday and then today coming back, it's got to have a little bit of an impact on the way they swim this afternoon.
Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club out in front. Joseph Boswell, his closest challenger in lane 3, but it looks like Adam's going to be not to be denied in this one.
I think he's got too far of a lead for anybody to touch him in this race.
He looked around and saw everybody coming at him after the turn and kind of smiled there a bit, I believe. Just gliding through the water. Easy winner, Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club, the winner of the boys' 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard individual medley. We have some official results to give you. Girls 7 and 8-year-old 50-yard free. The winner was Natalie Lindo of Darnek, 39.13. And the boys 7 and 8-year-old 50-yard free, it was Kyle Roby of Darnek, 39.92. Girls 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard free. The official winner was Courtney Sears of Darnek, 110.76. And the boys 9 and 10-year-old 100-yard free. The winner was Adam Augustine of Owensboro Country Club, 110.65. Girls 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard free. The winner was Brooke Berry of Town and Country with a time of 105.6. And the boys 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard free. The winner was Ryan Masenik of Darnek with a 102.68. Those results are official.
Jerry, I just realized why you were looking at us all crazy when we're talking about it getting dark. I just took my sunglasses off.
Oh, okay.
I bought an extra 20 minutes of light.
Oh, we've got another half hour, 45 minutes of light. They're in the water for the girls 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM. It's Tiffany Strong of Paddock in 1, Jane Hess of Owensboro Country Club in 2, Brooke Berry of Town and Country in 3, Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis in 4, Carly Cundiff of Atlantis in 5, and Ashley Reynolds of Town and Country in 6. The gal to watch is Brooke Berry of Town and Country. She had the quick time, 117.435, and very quickly as we near the halfway mark, she's out in front.
Yeah, Brooke's got a commanding lead so far, about a body length and a half.
It's the hat, guys. It's the hat.
Running second in lane 4 is Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis, but right now in command is Brooke Berry of Town and Country.
You know, you're talking about how they come back on that backstroke, hitting the wall. Andrea just really popped herself in the head coming around on that turn there.
Right. Well, sometimes they get misunderstood with the backstroke flags. Backstroke flags are up for a specific purpose to count your strokes to the wall. And if you mess up on your count, you can do just that, hit yourself in the head on the wall. So you got to hit it just right.
Brooke Berry romping home the winner in the girls 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM, and there she is. Brooks coming home winner. Finishing second will be Jane Hess of Owensboro Country Club, followed by Andrea Ambrose of Atlantis. That was the girls 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM. Moving on to the boys 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM. We'll have in lane 1, Starrett Mercer of Darnek. Lane 2, Trent Thomas of Paddock. Lane 3, Ryan Masenik of Darnek. Lane 4, Clay Purdom of Town and Country. Lane 5, Eric Foster of Splash. And lane 6, John Hicks of Splash. The quick time in the prelims yesterday turned in by Ryan Masenik of Darnek, 116.008. Ryan Keller of Darnek holds the record in this event, 107.70. So Ryan Masenik again of Darnek will be the man to beat.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good lead from prelims, about 3 seconds.
And we'll be set to go in just a moment. It's Mercer, Thomas, Masenik, Purdom, Foster, and Hicks. The boys 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM.
I hear Jamie's mom, Jill, down there. She's coaching, you know, and she gets quite vocal as she coaches.
Yeah, she's one that has never needed an amplifier of any artificial means.
Oh, now look at this. She's got her cohort in crime with a megaphone. Is that legal?
Here come the boys, 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM. The guy to beat is Ryan Masenik of Darnek in lane 3, and very quickly he zips up through the first 25 yards.
Is it a megaphone or a dunce's cap? I can't tell.
I think it could be used for both, Joe. I'm not really sure.
That's Ryan Masenik of Darnek opening up a commanding lead and nearing the halfway mark of the boys' 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM. And a battle for second there as he's flanked by Trent Thomas of Paddock in lane 2 and Clay Purdom of Town and Country in lane 3.
Yeah, Ryan's opening up a pretty good lead, but it looks like the battle between Clay and Trent for second.
So it's going to be a one-man race for first place. Ryan Masenik of Darnek will romp home the winner, but we'll watch the battle for second between Trent Thomas of Paddock in lane 2 and Clay Purdom of Town and Country in lane 4. And smoothly sailing through the waters, Ryan Masenik of Darnek, the winner of the boys' 11 and 12-year-old 100-yard IM. And on that turn, opening up a command in second place will be Trent Thomas of Paddock. Finishing third in lane 4 will be Clay Purdom of Town and Country. That's the way they finish.
All right, we're getting ready to start the girls 13-14 100-yard IM. In lane 1, we got Mandy Keller of Splash. Lane 2, Leanne Presser of Town & Country. Lane 3, Jennifer Hargan of Splash. Lane 4, Tanya Miller of Darnek. Lane 5, Katie Hargan of Splash. And lane 6, Lee Bowen of Owensboro Country Club.
And we're getting ready to go. He's giving the girls some last-minute instructions there, and also I think the PA announcer is reading some of the results from earlier.
The quick time in the prelims was 1:12.509. Jennifer Hargan of Splash. Of course, she'll be in lane 3.
13-14 girls, 100 IM.
Meet record, Lori Barr of Darnek, 108.94, back in 82. And they're off and going. Oh, look at those two going, 3 and 4. That's Jennifer Hargan of Splash in 3 and Tanya Miller of Darnek in 4.
Jennifer's starting to take an early lead here in the backstroke, but Tanya Miller and Leanne Presser are pushing her, trying to get up there with her.
Presser in lane 2 moving up very strongly, and in lane 4, Tanya Miller is right there in second place now. The leader is Jennifer Hargan at the halfway mark.
And a good turn for her, too. Look at that.
Tanya's a strong breaststroker, so this could be a race.
And here she comes in lane 4, gaining ground in the breaststroke, and then we'll come down to the final 3, and she may even have the lead. I think she does.
It's going to be a battle at the end, so whoever has the hardest freestyle, fastest freestyle is probably going to win this race. Oh, and this is a battle. This is a battle to the end right here, folks.
Oh, man, look at this battle.
And in lane 3, it looks like Jennifer Hargan edges out Tanya Miller. Jennifer for Splash, Tanya for Darnek, and Jennifer the winner in the girls' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard individual medley. Moving on to the boys' 13 and 14-year-old 100-yard IM. The 6 qualifiers include in lane 1, Gilmore Chung of Splash. In lane 2, Robbie Lyons of Town & Country. Lane 3, Chad Masenik of Darnek. Lane 4, Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. Lane 5, Kevin Hatton of Splash. And lane 6, Ryan Goldtree of Town & Country. The fastest qualifier by far was Chad Masenik of Darnek with a 108.889 yesterday. Closest to him about 4 seconds back. The meet record for this event held by Brian Keller of Darnek, 101.80 set in 1985. So again, we'll watch the favorite, Chad Masenik of Darnek, the quickest qualifier in the prelims. He'll be in lane 3.
And we're getting ready to go. Gentlemen up on the blocks.
4 lengths pool, fly back press and 3 quiet for the start, please. Timers ready. Swimmers, take your mark.
This looks like a race to watch here, Matt.
Oh, they're right together. But we'll keep our eye on Chad Masenik as he makes the first turn in lane 3. But right there in lane 4 is Jeremiah Johnson of Atlantis. Had the lead briefly, and the strong turn by Chad Masenik puts him back in front, but coming back again is Jeremiah Johnson.
He's starting to pull away. Chad's going to have to make up something in breaststroke to catch him.
So at the halfway mark, Jeremiah Johnson with a strong backstroke has the lead, makes the turn, and here comes Chad Masenik of Darnek, and let's watch him.
Here he comes. He's a good breaststroker, so he might be able to make up some ground. Some
what?
Jeremiah Johnson. It's water, not ground.
Oh, is that okay? Water.
Okay.
He said ground, and I'm looking out there. That's 4 feet of ground now.
Boy, they're going to be right dead
man.
tied at the turn, and here they come with a free, and watch Chad Masenik in lane 3.
But look at this. Look at lane 4.
Jeremiah Johnson. Chad Masenik in lane 3 will finish first. Jeremiah Johnson second. And a battle for third, it looks like, in lane 5. Kevin Hatton of Splash got in there in the third place spot. So the winner, Chad Masenik of Darnek, in the boys 13 and 14 100-yard IM. And we move on to the girls high school 200-yard IM.
And this is big time, Jerry. This is 8 lengths of the pool now.
And the qualifiers were in lane 1, Kimberly Chung of Splash. Lane 2, Lisa Kelly of Town & Country. Lane 3, Jamie Mueller of Splash. Lane 4, Diane Snyder of Darnek. Lane 5 is Kate Hess of Atlantis. And lane 6, Melissa Wink of Atlantis. A quick time in the prelims, 2:29.591. Jamie Mueller, again the gal to beat. Tanya Ladan, who's watching on the sidelines, holds the record, 2:18.846, set in 1988. And here's Jamie out in front early.
As Joe said earlier, this is 2 lengths of the pool of each stroke, so you really have to show some training and some endurance to master this race. It's a good race.
Jamie Mueller rolling up the wins. You figured out how many firsts she's had so far? This would be...
I ran out of fingers and toes. I don't know.
I think she's won every event this afternoon.
She certainly has. Everything she's entered, and she is gliding through the water now in the backstroke.
Looks like the battle's going to be for second place between Diane Snyder in lane 4 and Lisa Kelly in lane 2 from Town and Country.
As Jamie Mueller makes the turn, and she approaches the halfway mark.
Matt, do the swim caps really help that much?
I think for girls it does. It makes a lot of difference because they've got longer hair and it keeps it out of their eyes so they can see where they're going so they don't run into the wall. But for the boys, I think it's more of a psychological advantage more than anything. They think it's cutting down resistance. So I think to an effect it does have some.
What about shaving your hair like a lot of them do?
A lot of the experienced swimmers in the Olympics, it really does. I mean, you think whenever
they're going for a hundredth of a second,
which is the blink of an eye. Every little piece of resistance they can cut down on, they're gonna.
Even if it helps psychologically, it's got to help. Jamie Mueller way out in front in the girls' high school 200-yard IM. And let's check out second place, because if there's going to be a battle, it's going to be in second. And Diane Snyder very comfortably in second place. Running third is Lisa Kelly. Another sterling performance here by Jamie Mueller. She's been outstanding in her young career. She's had an outstanding career, but in the meet tonight, she has just been fabulous. Set a number of records, won everything she's entered, and now she's romping home the winner.
Well, Matt, what about the age on these people here? When a youngster leaves, say, 17, 18s and moves on into the early 20s, is his swimming career over pretty much?
Well, it just depends on how far along they've gone. Look at Tanya Ledan, for example. She's on scholarship right now at Wright State. And she's swimming up there, and apparently I was talking to her before the meet today, and she really enjoys it. She's having a really good time. So not necessarily, it's not going to be over.
As we watch the finish of the girls' high school 200-yard IM, you saw Jamie Mueller romp home the impressive winner as she continues to rack up the victories in the 1990 Owensboro City Swim Meet. Coming your way from the Darnek pool in Owensboro. Coming your way on cable channel 2. We'll be back after this timeout.
Kids Stop is not just clothing anymore. Now, just in time for back to school, Kids Stop in Town Square North has just completed their expansion and remodeling and are announcing their newest addition with the grand opening of their new shoe department. Come in and choose from a full line of high-quality shoes from BabyBot and Stride Right. All shoes come in many widths and sizes to provide the comfort and natural fit growing feet need. It's the look kids want and the quality moms know and love. Kids Stop in Town Square North.
In just 6 days, your backyard could look like this. Home Pool doesn't just put in the pool. They make it look right in your yard with complete landscaping consultation. They're not a part-time company. Home Pools work year-round on decks, patios, and, of course, pools. And with 19 years of experience, you'll be quite satisfied with the job done for years after the one-year guarantee. Estimates are free. It's the first step toward fulfilling your backyard dreams and filling your own pool with water. Call or visit Jim Pfister, the pool man, at Home Pool, 1200 Burlew Boulevard.
Ready to go with the boys' high school 200-yard IM. In lane 1's Chad Staton of Splash. Lane 2, Brad Schmid of Town and Country. Lane 3, Andrew Chung of Splash. Lane 4, Jason Pickrell of Atlantis. Lane 5, Bobby Goebel of Town and Country. Quick time in the prelims, 2:20.183. Andrew Chung of Splash. He'll be the guy to watch. The record held by Brian Keller of Darnek, 2:07.516.
I didn't think that Jamie could knock down another Tanya Ledan record, but boy, 2:18.846 was the record she set on July 25th, 1988.